Well, to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And with the possible exception of Manchester City right now, there is no tougher opposition in English football than Chelsea. There's something about the generational nature of football that, as Liverpool go off in search of silverware once again, that Chelsea should once again stand in their way, as they have so often in recent years. Liverpool against Chelsea at Wembley for the Carabao Cup. It is another huge day for Liverpool Football Club.
Well, first and foremost, I think it's always nice to be back. I'm sure the fans are more than happy to be back down at Anfield South, and it'll be a tough old game against Chelsea. I think that, you know, the league games indicate that it will be a very, very close affair. And I think we could huckle ourselves down, John, and expect that this could really go all the way. I think with both draws in the Premier League and not a lot to choose between the two sides, I think this is it's a hard one to call, but Liverpool certainly probably coming in here just slight favourites.
Well, there is always incident, there is always drama when Liverpool and Chelsea go head-to-head. But before we get underway with the action, the players and supporters will come together. Everyone has been shocked and saddened by the events in Ukraine over the past few days, and now football shows solidarity to the people of that country under attack. Well, the Liverpool fans vocally, as they do, showing their support. Well, on a day that has a very cosmopolitan and international nature in the two teams, Mason Mount and Jordan Henderson, two Englishmen singing the national anthem as the players come together for the photo to show the respect between them. Believe me, this is the only togetherness we'll see today.
Well, it's a nice touch, isn't it? In all fairness, I think both sets of players coming together in a manner of respect for what's actually happening in Ukraine at this moment in time. A nice little touch that. Both managers picking up the wreaths to take them off the field, and I think just maybe lay them at the side. I'm not 100% sure what to do with them, but...
Well, Thomas Tuchel and Jürgen Klopp know each other so well, and they've had so many battles over the last few seasons. Today they go head-to-head in the Cup final, and let's have a look at the Liverpool side selected by Jürgen Klopp. It was an interesting call from the Liverpool manager. Caoimhin Kelleher once again continuing in goal, having produced heroics in this competition so far. The big team news, of course, Thiago being injured in the warm-up, which means that he's ruled out. It's a late change that Jürgen Klopp has had to make, and really does affect the balance of the team. And another big call, of course, Luis Diaz getting the start up front.
Yeah, I mean, sad obviously from Thiago's point of view. I'm sure he would have loved to have played here at Wembley. Big wide open spaces probably would have suited him down to the ground, but it's Naby Keita that comes in and replaces him. It's a late shot from Liverpool's point of view, but it's a strong lineup. I think when you look at Liverpool, probably the midfield is certainly the area where you would probably want Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago to play, but Naby Keita gets that opportunity, and young Kelleher in the goal, who has not let Liverpool down in any game that he's played so far. So why would he really, you think that, why would he let Liverpool down in the final? And I think it's only right that he gets his place ahead of Alisson today. and hopefully he'll have a big game for them.
Chelsea's team selection also has its problems as well for Thomas Tuchel. Trevor Chalobah comes in and plays at the heart of the defence with no Christensen available. He is still relatively a rookie in terms of this Chelsea side, but has played and scored in the Champions League against Juventus this season. Mateo Kovacic, very influential in midfield, is fit to play, but significantly still no Romelu Lukaku up front. He has been having his problems, shall we say, over the past week, both on and off the field at Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously they paid an awful lot of money for him, and they're expecting him to deliver maybe a lot more than what he has done. He still is leading goal scorer, as we just have a glimpse of Thiago getting consoled by Alisson. You can see that he's in bits. But going back to Lukaku, I mean, he's still the leading goal scorer at this moment in time from Chelsea's point of view. But no place in the starting lineup, and it's Havertz that will play up front, and Havertz gives them a little bit more mobility up front. I think when you look at the likes of Mason Mount, who has caused Liverpool a lot of problems in the past, picking up these little inside left positions or inside right positions, and Pulisic, certainly with his pace and his directness, can cause Liverpool problems as well.
Well, you'd be kidding for thinking we're playing at the height of summer and it could be the FA Cup final, given the weather at Wembley. It's bright, it's sunny. The supporters have been gathering in their thousands all day, and once again, as the players take the knee together, it's Liverpool and Chelsea in a big game, as it has been so many times. The League Cup final is underway at Wembley Stadium. It's Liverpool who get us underway. What thrills, spills and incident will we have over the next 90 minutes or maybe even 120 minutes, and who knows, it could even go all the way to penalties. Given the way the games have been played between the side this season, it wouldn't be a surprise.
It certainly wouldn't, John. I think when you look at Liverpool's performances in League Cup finals and certainly finals, only 2 of Liverpool's previous 8 final wins have come in the full and regulation 90 minutes. So, as I said before, the closeness of these two teams is amazing, really, when you think of the performances we've seen in the Premier League. Nothing really between them, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes all the way. And, I mean, it is the Liverpool way to go all the way, isn't it? But hopefully it'll be a positive outcome.
Much made of the pathways of those two managers and their careers. There's a real symmetry about them. Two very different men in terms of their makeup, their approach to football, their tactics. Here's Marcos Alonso. And Chelsea trying to strike the first blow early on. Rudiger. Here's Thiago Silva. Very much the veteran in this side, and the ball back to Edouard Mendy. There was there was plenty of speculation. It wasn't some. There was an expectation that Kepa would get the call to play, having been Chelsea's cup goalkeeper. And it's Mendy who is their first choice, who is selected today, whereas Jürgen Klopp, of course, sticks with Caoimhin Kelleher, who's been so good, so reliable, and described by his manager this week as the best number 2 in the world and better than a lot of number 1s in the world.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think we've seen from his performances throughout this competition that he's more than capable. Interesting with Kepa. Kepa was part of that team, wasn't he? Like when was it Sarri that actually wanted to take him off, and he wouldn't come off. It was quite bizarre, that, wasn't it?
And then, of course, he came on in the Super Cup final earlier in the season. From Mainz to Dortmund, and of course a relationship as opposing managers that started with that epic Borussia Dortmund tie 6 years ago. Klopp came out on top then. You can see there the level of respect between them, a nod and a smile. The early stages are very much a case of who will try and strike first, who will make the first blow. Because these players are so used to playing at Wembley, they know it inside out. It's like back in your day, Gary.
Oh, it's a big occasion. It's in big occasions you tend to feel bigger players arise to the occasion.
Well, here's Mount for Alonso. covered by Alexander-Arnold. It was a massive occasion in the 80s, Gary, playing at Wembley, playing in the cup final. Do you still get that same sense of feeling that it applies to the players today? I would argue that the League Cup maybe has been devalued maybe by media types and stuff over the last few years. It's not seen as important.
Well, most definitely it's been undermined by a lot in the media, but I think from a player's point of view, any time that you're playing in a final and at Wembley, you're going to feel that it's a little bit special, it's a little bit different to any other ordinary game, so you've got to savour that and enjoy that. And as I say, that's what happens when the big players play on the big stages. They thrive.
That's Chalobah. Back towards Mount. Chalobah again. As we say, he's still relatively a rookie in terms of this Chelsea side, but he came in at the start of the season playing in a midfield role when Chelsea had a few absences, and he's now slotted back into a back three where you would more expect to see him. Here's Salah, his first opportunity to get involved in the game.
I think the one thing about what you're talking about inexperience, as we just see this happen,
Alexander-Arnold with the cross, cut out by Alonso.
There's plenty of experience alongside them, and Rudiger and Thiago Silva. As we see here, look, Mohamed Salah walking his socks off to get back because Trent Alexander-Arnold had gone on the overlap. I think he's a danger from Liverpool's point of view. Mason Mount, as I say, he picks up these little pockets of space and inside left positions and inside right positions and make these little diagonal runs. I think he causes Liverpool, certainly in the games that I've watched and seen so far, he's been the one that really has caused most of the problems from Liverpool's point of view.
That's Kovacic, who's having a super season. Havertz, who's become Chelsea's man for the big game. And Chelsea looking to fire through early. Pulisic is there. And it's a fine stop by Caoimhin Kelleher, and it needed to be as well. The follow-up shot is by Alonso, but Chelsea nearly strike early and would have done but for the young Irishman.
Well, if you have any doubts about the selection of Caoimhin Kelleher in goal, then wipe them away from your memory, because this is a fantastic save. He's kept his team on level terms. You can see there's a lovely little ball in by Azpilicueta. It's nice and early, and it's in a position where Liverpool, well, they just can't deal with it, other than the goalkeeper. And really, Pulisic, I think he should have scored, in all fairness. He'll look back in that and think that's the best opportunity he's maybe going to get throughout the course of the game. But a wonderful save by the young Irishman.
He has produced a couple of real quality cameos against Liverpool in his Chelsea career today. Pulisic, what a chance that is though to strike early. Keita not able to pick up a loose pass. N'Golo Kante, Chelsea looking strong, stopped by a strong tackle by Fabinho, and Chalobah getting there before Luis Diaz. And Chelsea tails look up, and Fabinho is penalised.
Well, it's Azpilicueta's ball into the box. I think when you look at Chelsea, I'm not saying that it's a weakness, but they probably don't have the same sort of firepower in the wide areas with the likes of Marcos Alonso and the likes of Azpilicueta playing in these wing-back positions. More defenders than attackers, should we say. But on this occasion, he draws the free kick, and it was his ball into the box that caused Liverpool all sorts of problems. So I'll maybe be doing them a little bit of a disservice. But in general terms, they're more defenders than attackers. Certainly Azpilicueta is.
He was looking for the yellow card there as well, was the Chelsea captain. Stuart Atwell waved it away. Chelsea's free kick is deep, it's towards Rudiger, but he can't really work with that. It's always interesting in a cup final like this. In the old days, dare we say it, referees would try and let the game breathe in a cup final with the nerves and the tension. And there's always a lot of pressure on referees on days like this, and Stuart Atwell, given the job today, has had his moments in his career. He's had his moments with Liverpool and Chelsea as well, but who doesn't? A big day for him as well.
Oh, I think it's prestige for them as well, isn't it? Referees and officials, and to referee a major cup final. But certainly, I mean, the referees started well. I think out of the two teams, you would have to say that Chelsea had probably started the better out of the two of them.
That's brilliant. Lewis Diaz used the referee to pull himself up, and the referee sort of like, "Ooh, what are you doing?" That's a good interception again. Andrew Robertson was being pulled by Havertz, but able to get the ball back to Kelleher. Certainly Chelsea started better, as Gary says, and are on the front foot at the moment. You can just see Liverpool not really able to settle down into a rhythm as of yet. But that tends to happen in games like this. There tends to be little passages of play for both sides. Two good sides.
Well, I think that's what happens. I mean, when you have two sides that are really so closely matched, that you know that throughout the course of the game it's going to be to and fro, and one team I don't think will ever kind of dominate the situations that we see on a regular basis when Liverpool play. Certainly in the Premier League, a lot of games at Anfield, it's possession-wise, Liverpool just dominate possession. I don't think this will be the case this afternoon.
That's Aspilicueta, Chalobah, Thiago Silva. 38 next birthday, an incredible career he's had, and still looking as fit as anyone. I know we talk about James Milner's fitness at the age of 36. And Thiago Silva's a lesson to everyone. That's Mount with the cross, away by Robertson. Keita and Henderson. Alexander-Arnold did well to sort his feet out and get the ball away downfield. Kovacic steps in, and Chelsea on top in midfield at the moment there, picking up all those little 50-50 balls. Can they make it count though while they are on top? Mount has become really almost the main playmaker in this Chelsea team now. You'd say that, wouldn't you, Gary?
Yeah, I think, you know, from the fact that he's a young lad, I mean, he's grown immensely in stature and importance, I think, for Chelsea.
Luis Diaz, his first run. Chalobah is the defender. Sadio Mane. This front three for Liverpool that has come together because of the absences of Diogo Jota and Roberto Firmino. It's one that's worked pretty well for Jürgen Klopp. It gives him another option. It's nice to have them when you've got Firmino and Diogo Jota, adding Luis Diaz, and now being able to play Sadio Mane more central. Here he is in his more natural position that you see him in, and Luis Diaz's shot is actually blocked by the legs of his own man, Naby Keita. I don't think it would have had the power to trouble Mendy in the Chelsea goal.
Well, I think we talked about Jota when he came first into the football club, and we thought, you know, he fitted in seamlessly. But, you know, you have to say that about Luis Diaz as well. I mean, it's been a wonderful start to his Liverpool career. He looks as if he's been here for years and years and years.
And here is Havertz. 3 against 3 at the moment. Joel Matip holds him up. Conte. Aspilicueta. The time he's had at Chelsea as well. He's almost missed the Chelsea. It's probably a foul by Henderson. The referee's going to let it go because Chelsea have the ball. As it broke, Henderson snapped into a tackle. Probably clipped the ankles of Kovacic.
He's a player that's grown in stature at Chelsea as well, isn't he, Kovacic? And you know, there was a lot of questions when he first came into the club that, you know, he wasn't quite up to it, but I think certainly he's grown into that position, and really he plays a key role for Chelsea at this moment in time, as we see Thiago Silva just gone down.
I mean, it's probably first pick in midfield right now.
Kovacic, yeah.
You know, with the players that they have, with Jorginho, of course, not starting this game, which you would never expect Chelsea not to start Jorginho in a game like this, and N'Golo Kante as well. He's had his injury problems. Kovacic has become so important. And Thiago Silva's problem here would suggest to be a rib, Gary, I would guess.
Well, it looks as if he's had a bang in the chest. I mean, winded, just maybe feeling it a little bit. Not sure what to give them these days, but I'm sure it's all very legal.
It has to be, Gary. It has to be.
You'd imagine it's just a paracetamol or something like that.
Well, the first chance of the game not taken. Well, it's a good angle, isn't it, guys? It shows that it's a really good save by the goalkeeper, who sorts himself out from point-blank range very well, but it's not a great finish.
Well, I'm not saying he's not a natural finisher, Pulisic, because he's obviously scored goals, but I think if you're a natural goal scorer, like a Robbie Fowler, a Gary Lineker, or even, dare I say it, a Mohamed Salah, I think you open your body up and you place that in either corner, whereas I think he's concentrating mainly on just making a good contact with it, and in doing that you hit it too straight at the goalkeeper. And I mean, Kelleher still has to react and still has to make the save, which, you know, all credit to him. It was a fantastic save, but it was a fantastic opportunity for Chelsea to stamp their authority on this game early on.
Well, one Thiago crestfallen on the sideline, an injury taking him out of the cup final prior to kick-off. Thiago Silva just injured back on the field.
He must have felt something in the warm-up, whether it's I don't know, obviously a muscular strain, but a body blow for him. Hopefully it won't be a body blow for Liverpool. Strength and depth at this moment in time is a lot better than what it has been for Jürgen Klopp.
Well, any side that has Thiago or Campara in the side is lucky to have him, given his football ability and what he brings to a football match. But Liverpool have played lots of games without him since he signed, and they've done pretty well. Here's Naby Keita, who's another who'll want to make a big impact today. As he said, getting that late call, it meant that Harvey Elliott stepped up from the non-playing players to join the list of substitutes as well. I wonder if we'll see him after what he's been through this season. Kovacic. That's a lovely ball. Slid through the lines. This is Havertz. And pull back for Mount. And it comes to Kovacic and Matip in the way. Not once but twice for Liverpool. Kante. Well done, Luis Diaz, taking the ball off him and keeping it.
Well, it's Chelsea that are causing all the problems at this moment in time.
Well, Liverpool just trying to stay with Chelsea here at the minute.
Well, it looks that way, in fairness. I mean, this is the time when you don't want to concede, you don't want to lose goals. But
well, that's a loose challenge by Chalobah. Sadio Mane, and it's away by Rudiger. And Chalobah just looked a little uncertain.
I think he's having a word with Mr. Atwell, thinking it's a free kick. I'm not 100% sure he's got a case, but Sadio Mane not giving it up.
Well, it looked like he was trying to hook the ball rather than clear the ball. It played into the hands of the Liverpool man, or the feet of the Liverpool man. Andrew Robertson with the throw. Liverpool weathered a Chelsea storm, and can they now set off themselves? Well, he was a big doubt, wasn't he, for the game? Fit enough for the bench.
Oh, even from the bench, he doesn't agree with the referee's decision, or referee's assistant's decision.
For a man who looks so innocent and so quiet and unassuming, he is a really fiery character.
Well, here's the opportunity. I just thought Havertz could have been reacted a little bit quicker. He just delays it, the pass. He picks a really good pass, and then Mount. You know, I say it often enough. If the start of the move is a hesitation, then it normally finishes with a hesitation as well, and that's exactly what happened. Mount hesitated for a split second, and all it takes is a split second to lose the opportunity to have that clear shot at goal.
Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oh, it's a lovely ball. Sadio Mane was there, and he doesn't time the header. First real moment for Liverpool.
Well, this comes basically out of nothing, really. It's the ability that Trent Alexander-Arnold has to pick a pass from this sort of angle, and he picks it right on Sadio Mane's head. And really, well, I talk about it a lot, but the one thing that in the game that for me is certainly not improved is heading technique. Everything else has probably moved on tenfold from certainly when I was playing, but the heading technique of players these days is sometimes I think it leaves a lot to be desired, and on that occasion Sadio Mane, that was a good opportunity.
Well, is this where Liverpool come to life in the cup final?
Well, sometimes that's all you need. You need a little opportunity, a little sight to go, sparks you into a little bit more life. The fact that Chelsea have had two good opportunities and squandered both of them, you know, gives you that little bit more confidence, a little bit more belief.
It is something that Thomas Tuchel spoke about this week, and something that everyone says, that Liverpool can just be meandering along, playing the ball around, and then in an instant Trent Alexander-Arnold's played a killer ball from somewhere around the halfway line or just inside the opposition half, and Liverpool have scored.
Well, that's the ability that Liverpool, certainly Trent Alexander-Arnold, have. I think what Liverpool need to, well, as I say, get back a little bit into the game. I think get Mohamed Salah on the ball. We've not seen an awful lot of him. I have to say that every time he's come up against Rudiger, like Rudiger has played him particularly well.
They are incredibly close as well off the field, given the time they spent together in Rome. From being pictured together during their times at Liverpool and Chelsea. I mean, you couldn't get two more different characters from appearance. Rudiger's quite brash and very, very much outspoken. He's quite aggressive, volatile sometimes on the pitch as well. And Salah's the opposite to that, really.
Oh, what a take. What a take by Luis Diaz there.
Luis Diaz's first touch sets Liverpool up. Salah's shot blocked by Thiago Silva. Rudiger's header half blocked by Alexander-Arnold. Sadio Mane fouled. Liverpool are coming to life in this game.
Well, he does exceptionally well, Sadio Mane. If you just watch here, he sees Mount coming, just gets himself between the ball and Mount, and there's nowhere for Mount to go other than to foul him.
It's a long way over to this right side of the penalty area. It's very, very difficult for Alexander-Arnold to bend this around the wall and into that top corner where Mendy is right now. It would take a quite phenomenal piece of technique and ability. Maybe that's what the conversation is, whether or not he steps aside for Salah.
Well, I think back in the day you would always back a left footer to hit this one, but with the way that Trent Alexander-Arnold strikes the ball and the swerve on these balls, and there's been a debate about the ball being a little bit lighter than what the ball they use in Premier League. So it'll be interesting to see who strikes this one.
It's a very square-on approach by Alexander-Arnold, and he does leave it for Salah, whose strike is miscued and out of play. I think just by the approach of Alexander-Arnold there, you could see that he wasn't taking that.
Well, they move it to give themselves maybe a little bit of a better angle, more of a sight to go from Mohamed Salah. But more often than not, you see Mohamed Salah, he likes to hit it with the inside of his left foot to swerve it towards the goal. He puts his foot through that one and gets it all wrong.
Well, he has a bit of previous against Chelsea
for
hits like that. By the way, he's got previous against Chelsea for scoring free kicks. I mean, the shock when Salah hit that ball at Anfield against Chelsea. The power, explosive strike of the football. He caught everyone out, I think, inside the stadium, because it's just not what you associate with him. Oh, Chalobah has robbed Luis Diaz here. It's onto Mount, tidied up well by Alexander-Arnold. It's not the best ball. And Fabinho need to go back towards his own goal line, and Chelsea have taken it from Liverpool here. They've got themselves in a bit of a mess. N'Golo Kante's ball. It was neither pass nor shot, really.
Oh, it was a little bit in between. I'm not quite sure what you saw there, but I think there was a couple of Chelsea players offside, and had they managed to take the ball down, I think referee's assistant on the far side would have signalled.
If there is one criticism of an incredible footballer, it is maybe that vision, that ability in and around the opposition penalty area that people have levelled against Conte.
I'd take a chance on him, though.
Yeah, I mean, you pick faults in everyone, don't you?
Yeah.
That's probably the only area he falls down in football. Luis Diaz has won Liverpool a corner here. Another opportunity in a game that's much more even now than it was early on.
Yeah, Liverpool gradually, slowly coming back into it.
And remember, there is no one better in English football than Liverpool. And Chelsea have knocked off here completely. And Joel Matip really gets on the end of that, but for a good header by Mount. That's Van Dijk. Shot was stopped by Chalobah. Keita battling against Mount, and he's going to be penalised here. Is Naby Keita. Rudiger's getting involved. A few of the Liverpool players none too happy as well. And Stuart Atwell is taking his time here. Chelsea's players feel that there was a aggressive arm thrown by the Liverpool man. And Stuart Atwell, I think, has just decided that it was a coming together more than anything as they tussle for the ball.
Well, I didn't see an awful lot in it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, there's a coming together that Naby Keita just tries to get a... Well, you can see there why that Mount is obviously going down. The arm comes across. I don't think it's an elbow in the face. It's just that he puts his arm out to try and to stop Mount getting through, and just makes contact with the face.
Whenever someone gets cracked in the face, immediately the referee has to decide: has he done it deliberately? You know, is it dangerous play? Because of course you can do it non-deliberately now and get a red card. What the referee has to take into account as well is that Mason Mount grabbed his arm 3 times.
Yeah.
And Keita's trying to shrug him off, isn't he? That's exactly where the referee has come out with that. I'm saying it is more of a coming together between the two.
Well, it's a foul by Mount probably in the first place, isn't it?
Talk about referees on big days like this. They can't win, because I guarantee you'll have Chelsea people, Chelsea supporters, and maybe some of their analysts and technical staff suggesting that was worthy of something a little more. And what Chelsea got for it. Salah, lovely turn. Sadio Mane. Keita to his left. Andrew Robertson a little further over. Robertson's cross deflected behind. Liverpool not maybe as slick and as quick in moving the ball as you normally see from them at this stage.
No, but you just get the sense that they're gradually getting themselves back on a stronger foothold and you know, looking more dangerous when they're going forward. It's picking the right option in the final third of the pitch that's stopping them probably creating more opportunities than what they have done.
And the corner comes all the way through, and there's a little bit of a ricochet from Azpilicueta before the ball is cleared. There was an appeal for handball. Liverpool are getting on with the game. Luis Diaz held up by Alonso, but delivering the cross for Matip, who was trying to lay the ball down for Jordan Henderson, didn't quite get it right. Thought he was going to pirouette and slot one in the top corner there, Joel Matip,
well,
given
yeah,
what he's been doing this season.
That would have been fairy tale stuff, wouldn't it? Liverpool claiming for handball here. Azpilicueta, I think it is that he does hit his arm, but I'm not sure that his arm was in an unnatural position. It was right down by his side. The ball more or less just dropped and came to rest on his arm.
Well, he decided it wasn't a penalty anyway, didn't he? Straight away throwing his arm out.
He wasn't having it, was he?
Alexander-Arnold. It's a good run by Jordan Henderson. Now Salah, and towards Mane. And Thiago Silva having to deal with the danger.
Well, good little combination down that right-hand side. Again, it's the trio, isn't it? Alexander-Arnold, Jordan Henderson, and...
It's a very polite chat between Andy Madley and Jürgen Klopp. I remember he took charge of that friendly at Bradford last year or the year before, was it? And Jürgen Klopp and Andy Madley had a long chat before that game as well. Just now on the Premier League list and doing a really good job as well. Liverpool's corner. It's deep towards Van Dijk. It's a good header from Azpilicueta once again. Brilliant from Salah. Sadio Mane. Alexander-Arnold. It's in for Henderson. Just trying to open the ball up for Mane, but N'Golo Kante doing what N'Golo Kante does very well in reading the danger. Luis Diaz.
Well, it's Liverpool's spell at this moment in time, isn't it?
Robertson, lovely slide towards Mane, good read by Thiago Silva. Away by Chelsea. Really good by Robertson. Everyone appealing for the throw. Robertson said, that's not going out, I'll stop it. Just see Thomas Tuchel urging his players to get out and press Liverpool. Just sensing that Liverpool are having the better of it now after Chelsea had that excellent start to the game. A couple of elite level boxers trading blows at the moment. Luis Diaz, Sadio Mane, and this is Naby Keita. Super save by the goalkeeper, Mane! Oh, that's as good a double save as you will ever see from Edouard Mendy. Incredible goalkeeping to deny Liverpool.
Oh, well, Liverpool want this really well. Naby Keita thinks he's just done the job. He thinks that's a fantastic effort at goal. I'm not going along with this, he's a good save. I think if he's done the job properly, Mendy pushes that wide, he pushes it back into an area where Sadio Mane is onto it like a flash, and he thinks he's just got to make contact with the ball and he scores. But Mendy, fantastic second save there. He's really kept his, well, both goalkeepers have kept their sides on level terms.
Well, Liverpool have to make do with a corner, and it's away by Chalobah. Well, Sadio Mane from a matter of yards, denied by his international teammate, the man who he was with at the AFCON so successfully recently. And Kepa would have appreciated that, because the second save is out of the ordinary.
Wow, it was world class. Reminding me a bit of Jerzy Dudek's save from Shevchenko in the Champions League Cup final. It's a big save as well. Just when Liverpool, you just felt that they're coming back into the game, a little bit more control and a little bit more measured in the play. Sadio Mane, just, I mean, he probably won't believe that he hasn't scored.
Here's Matic for Liverpool. And we talked about that brilliant chance for Pulisic early on, that was a miss more than maybe a stunning save. Liverpool have just been denied by an absolutely stunning save. Kelleher did well, he sorted himself out and made a save of a shot, but he was given the chance to save it by Pulisic. Mane just seemed to do everything right there. Just an amazing recovery, agility.
Well, as a forward player there, you have to, the anticipation, you have to be the first to react, and he did everything right, Sadio Mane. He's made a strike, put it on goal. Just the agility and the awareness of the goalkeeper, who I blame him a little bit, because, like, really from the shot from Naby Keita, he, in theory and technical terms, he should have pushed that wide as opposed to pushing it back into an area where he allowed Mane to come onto that. But the second save, absolutely out of this world.
Hours and hours and hours they spend doing that, making saves on the training ground and getting up and making a second save very quick. That's what they do. They work with the goalkeeping coaches, the staff. It's for moments like that they do it. Liverpool's fans finding their voices. The ball came off Kante and back to Edouard Mendy. I mean, his story in itself is phenomenal, isn't it? The fact that he came from basically absolutely nowhere to play at the top level for club and country. Robertson, whose story himself isn't so bad, is it, from where he was 10 years ago. That's Fabinho. And the shot was charged down enough for it to roll through.
I think it actually came off his own play. I think it hits Luis Diaz. This is the save again. This is the shot, and as I say, technical terms, I think he's got to push that wide with his right hand, a big right hand, and then Sadio Mane's onto it like a flash. I'm just looking at that replay. I'm not 100% sure Azpilicueta didn't get a little deflection as well.
You'd do anything to take this off the goalkeeper, wouldn't you?
No, just
horrible, man.
Looking from that angle, it just looked as if he... No, I think the goalkeeper ends up... I think Mendy actually makes a save, but that's what I'm saying. It's even better because I think there's a slight deflection maybe off Azpilicueta, which makes it even better.
It's Marcos Alonso. He's got the best clearance in the world. Matip. And he goes again. And the ball from Mane doesn't find Keita or Matip, who both would have been in on goal. And now Matip's a long way from home, and Chelsea are in with Kai Havertz, and the flag has stayed down, and the ball goes wide, and now the flag goes up. Well, it's not a let-off for Liverpool in the end, and Kai Havertz should have done better anyway.
Well, Kai Havertz, I mean, as a forward player, you've got to just act on instinct. I mean, he's clearly offside, miles offside in all fairness, I think. But you never really fancied him, didn't he? He was never really in control of the ball. The ball was always seemed to be a little bit behind him. He was kind of dragging it, whereas like you really need that out in front of you.
In the back of his own mind, does he know he's offside?
Yeah,
but still go and score, don't you?
Yeah, from a forward's point of view, that's not what you think. You think, you know, go and do what you're paid to do. Go and put it in the back of the net. Let the referee or give the officials the decision to make.
It wasn't approached with massive conviction, was it? And we'll talk about what he's done for Chelsea, of course, and the goals that won the Super Cup and the Champions League. Scored at Anfield early in the season with that great stooping header. It's a ball for Sadio Mane again, but we'll run through to Edouard Mendy. Ticking by very, very quickly this game now, isn't it?
Well, I'm just away to say I'm very surprised that like the director who's filming this never put a shot onto like Lukaku after that miss by Havertz, and there you go. He was a little bit late, but better late than never. I was just going to say, I wonder what he was thinking about the
Mane, touched by Henderson, looking for Salah. Alonso got that. That's deep, looking for Salah again, and Alonso just gets there in front of Mohamed Salah.
Well, he's not big and he's not a big presence at the far post, Mohamed Salah, but Alonso's got to do his job. He's fortunate a little bit because he's already back in there, and he just backs out, and yeah, it's not an easy chance for Mohamed Salah to get on the end of that one.
It's strange for a left back or a left wing back, but he isn't the most natural defender, Marcos Alonso. He looks good going forward, gets into good areas, and sometimes defensively he can, well, has in the past left a little bit to be desired. And of course, I mean, you could say he's only playing today because Chilwell's injured. Azpilicueta will probably be playing centre-half if Reece James was fit. And no Christensen, of course.
Well, I think Alonso, the position that suits him best is the wing-back position, isn't it? Where he does get that opportunity to go forward. I mean, he's scored a fair few goals from that wing-back position for Chelsea.
Yeah, he gets into really good areas. Here he is now. It's good from Mason Mount. Really good, two-footed, sliding through the ball. It's not the wisest thing to do. Referee deeming it was in a safe zone, I suppose.
Is that what they call it now? Safe zone.
just peculiar to do that. Here's Robertson for Liverpool. Luis Diaz for Sadio Mane. That's not a free kick, according to the referee. I felt Mane was playing for it. As Kovacic closed in, and Chelsea looked to counter. Havertz. And the shot is by Pulisic. The goalkeeper, always favourite, has to make the save. He does. What's on target from Christian Pulisic? That's away by Van Dijk.
Well, Pulisic, with the follow-up cross, he's got to do a lot better. He had bodies in the box, but he doesn't miss the first man. From it's just poor that from Pulisic, really.
Good game now, really building up. That's a good take by Caoimhin Kelleher. Well, it's non-stop as Luis Diaz is caught. That could easily be a yellow card for Cesar Azpilicueta. If he is let off with this, then the bar is going to be pretty high for what will be a yellow card offence today.
Well, that's not a free kick. Azpilicueta's was, and in my opinion, should have been given a yellow card, because I kind of think he knows what he's doing.
I think that's what Jürgen Klopp said to Andy Madley. But again, we saw it with the Keita incident. Now we've seen it with Azpilicueta. The referee seems to have decided, and the bar is high. And he's going to try and keep the cards away. Here's Liverpool's corner. Not Andrew Robertson's best, but he'll get another go here. And flicked by Henderson. And Alonso did well to get the ball away, because it was very awkward for the Salah. This is Alexander-Arnold. Henderson in space. Teed up for Robertson. Matip was trying to be a hindrance, but it was comfortable for Mendy in the end.
Well, Jordan Henderson does it exceptionally well. It's a great layoff back to Andrew Robertson, because he just lays it on his left foot, just the weight is just so sufficient that he just needs to come on and play it first time. But it wasn't the best ball in the world from Andrew Robertson. It was a bit loopy, a bit high. As you see, another free kick in the middle of the park.
Just on the referee setting this bar quite high today, letting tackles like that from Azpilicueta go with nothing more than a free kick. Sometimes it can lead players to making more reckless challenges if they think they can get away with it. That's a strike, which is just away from goal from Azpilicueta. Oh, he's packed a real punch, that one.
Well, he's put his hands to his head, but I think you could clearly see that on his left foot he's weaker at his 2 feet. That's nowhere near, really, to be quite honest with you. But
that's a good read by Matip as Rudiger tried to play the ball inside the penalty area. It's Chelsea's turn to have a go now, after Liverpool have had a really good spell of play. Luis Diaz with the ball, that will run away from Salah, who was looking for something a little straighter.
Well, as big as Wembley is and as wide as it is, it wasn't quite wide enough for that pass by Luis Diaz.
No bigger these days than the majority of Premier League pitches.
No, it's just on a grand wide scale, isn't it? The whole stadium, it makes you think that the pitch is a lot bigger than what it is.
It used to be in the old days. Gary will tell you that. So it's forward towards Sadio Mane. He was offside, as Gary says. Yeah, in your day, Gary, when you played there, it was bigger, and also the grass was longer, lusher.
It was a very dead pitch, John. I mean, I found that out when we went, and Bob Paisley, you talk about coaches and things like that. He always said, do not run with the ball in Wembley. He says, like, do not run with the ball, you make the ball do the work. It was a very, very sapping pitch, and I mean, a lot of people won't remember it, but going back to the day, the amount of players that actually went down with cramp playing at Wembley, it was unbelievable, because it was just a dead pitch. It just sapped everything out your legs.
His Mount. Away by Van Dijk. Imagine Kenny Dalglish telling John Barnes not to run a few years on. I mean, they tried to make the pitch better, they relayed it a number of times. It never helped that they used to have things like horse events on there.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that, would you?
Sorts,
yeah, you would not believe that, would you?
Turn up and there was like horse hooves in the picture, aren't there? Did the Horse of the Year show?
Something like that, yeah,
there?
yeah.
Some of the stuff that they had. It's a ball that's looking for Alonso. It's a good stretch by Alexander-Arnold. It's not a back pass, that's for sure. It's a really good interception from Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool have just got Salah in the middle and Mane on the right at the moment. Interested to see if that is something that's going to stick for a while, or whether it's just where they both find themselves at the moment.
I think it's just the passage you play that find themselves in that sort of position.
Alexander-Arnold. Mane deep, losing it to Kovacic, and now it's Pulisic. Havertz goes ahead of him. Now it's Havertz, and that's Mount. Well, Chelsea have had two huge chances now, and they've taken neither.
Well, we're talking about how suited Sadio Mane is at playing up front, but when you lose the ball in areas of the pitch where he did lose it, that's when you need probably a recognised centre forward. But then Chelsea, they worked this really well. There was, and I say Mount, he makes these late runs into the box that really are difficult to pick up, and it's Havertz that pick. The only thing that you would say, the fact that he chips it up makes it a lot harder. I think he has to chip it up. Ideally, he wants to roll that along the ground. But in saying that, again, a player of Mount's quality and ability at this sort of level, you know, chances don't come much better than that, especially in League Cup finals. Should have scored.
He scored that brilliant goal at Anfield last season, didn't he? It really hurt Liverpool. He doesn't take the chance to hurt Liverpool there. That's Luis Diaz. This is Sadio Mane. Now Naby Keita. Robertson. Matip. Henderson. And towards Salah, good challenge. Thiago Silva. Well, I think you're almost waiting for this game to have a little lull, but it's been hell for leather since the very first whistle. Chelsea with chances early on, and at the end of the first half, Mason Mount will feel he should have scored. Liverpool would have scored, but for an incredible double save by Edouard Mendy.
Well, I think we said at the beginning of the game that it's really too close to call this game. I think both teams very, very balanced, very even, and I think going in at half-time, you would suggest that Chelsea probably had the best of the chances. They've had two real good opportunities, but you have to say that Liverpool have had two good opportunities as well, if you include that header from Sadio Mane that he put wide, and then obviously the fantastic save by Mendy. As we thought, it's going to be tight, it's going to be a nervous kind of tension of affair, but at half-time I think both teams will be more than happy with the scoreline at 0-0.
Yeah, half-time at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final. It's Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. Liverpool looking to go clear in the lead once again as the all-time winners of the League Cup. But it's a game that has ebbed and flowed really from side to side. It's Chelsea who get this second half underway. Always seems strange when you kick off a second half at Wembley right on the opposite side and there's all those empty seats.
There's nobody there.
We've played enough football in front of empty seats over the last couple of years. That's Azpilicueta with a cross. And Joel Matip with an important header to get the ball away. Chelsea lucky to strike within the first 10-15 seconds of the second half. Remember, this season they conceded the quickest second half goal in Champions League history to Juventus. Federico Chiesa scoring inside 10 seconds. Thomas Tuchel wasn't happy then. He's not happy there either because Chelsea gave the ball away
Yeah, you just wonder what both managers said at half-time. I mean, as I say, the chances, probably the best, or the better chances, the ones that opened Liverpool up were Chelsea's chances. But Liverpool will point to the fact that, you know, Sadio Mane's header was a good opportunity, and certainly the one that Mendy makes a world-class save at, that was probably as good as any.
What you would say is that, I mean, it's pretty even, isn't it? Both sides have had their moments and their spells and created chances. Chelsea have had probably 2 outstanding chances to Liverpool's 1.
I think, you know, as I said before half-time, I think we talked about how closely matched these two teams are, that this could easily, you know, go all the way. And with regards to that, as we say, that Joe Matip just takes a little bit of a gamble.
Here's Van Dijk. It's not often that he doesn't get that crossfielder right. Cut out comfortably by Alonso. Kovacic. It's towards Pulisic and Havertz. And Chelsea are looking threatening again, and Havertz comes all the way across, and Pulisic can't get there. He's a whisker away.
Well, Havertz does exceptionally well, because I haven't seen too many people get the better of Joe Matip on one-on-one situations through the course of this season. He's a little bit slow in getting back there, Joe Matip. Maybe that's the reason why, but certainly Havertz, drop of the shoulder, gets to the byline and fires it into that corridor of uncertainty. Pulisic absolutely inches away from getting contact on that. Any sort of contact that's in the back of the net.
Well, here's Sadio Mane. Luis Diaz is back this way. Salah is out the other way, and he tries to run round Rudiger. And goes down, and Stuart Atwell says no foul. Well, it certainly looked as though Rudiger's arm came out.
Well, lively start to the second half.
That's Piliqueta. Christian Pulisic, little dink. Oh, mounts in again here. Is this Chelsea's moment? It's off the inside of the post. And Liverpool are living a very, very charmed life at the moment.
Well, my first instinct was that he had to be offside to have that time and space. I think this takes a deflection, the pass there from Pulisic, and you can clearly see there from that replay, he's not offside, he's very much onside. And if anything, he probably just rushed the finish.
Well, he put the volley wide with the side foot just before half-time. Now inside 4 minutes at the start of the second half, he's hit the inside of the post.
I think, you know, if you're Liverpool and you think that the chances that you conceded and the opposition have not managed to take them, sometimes you maybe just think, well, it might be our day.
Well, Liverpool have got away with it a couple of times. It's a brilliant ball and a brilliant run, isn't it? It's
a fantastic pass. As I say, I think it just takes a slight deflection of Naby Keita. And Mount, you know, he gets it stuck under his feet there. That is, again, that's a sign of a player that's not quite a natural finisher, I think. But it's a world-class opportunity, isn't it, to like open the score. 2 chances he's had, one both sides of half-time, and
that's at the other end, and Mendy gets there just ahead of Sadio Mane. Brilliant ball by Luis Diaz, good bit of defending now by Kovacic, but he's running into traffic and he gets himself a free kick, and he might be a little lucky to get it here because he seemed desperate to fall on the ball and get a foul.
Well, he was looking for any sort of contact, and I think when you look at it, he just leaves his trailing foot there. Mendy just taking a little bit of a knock, I think.
I'm not entirely sure there was contact from Sadio Mane here, you know. And Edouard Mendy has thrown himself acrobatically, Superman style, to clear this. And there's 0 contact, Gary. And that would suggest that that's muscular.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Sadio Mane certainly doesn't make contact with them, so you think that that's some sort of strain. And it looked like the midriff, it was the abdomen. He's looking on quite intently, thinking he's going to get his gloves on and have a role to play. He might still have a role to play.
He doesn't look overly concerned, Mendy. Whether he's trying
to buy one or not, I don't know. But well, he could be he could have been the hero. He could have been the guy with all the headlines in the papers tomorrow.
So just there, that was the problem, as he sort of had that touch and it just sort of stuck to his stud, and that meant that he was sort of scuffing it rather than stroking it.
I mean, ideally, again, as I said before, from a player's point of view, you want the ball out in front of you to make a better contact. When it gets stuck under your feet, you're not in control of the shot. That's exactly what happened with Mason Mount now.
Luis Diaz and Chalobah. This will test Mendy to see if he has got a problem. Well, it was safe enough, wasn't it?
I think what you would have to say is that, I mean, both Chalobah and Rudiger have not really given the likes of Diaz or Mohamed Salah any room or any space to operate in whatsoever. We haven't really seen any sort of influence from Liverpool's two wide players at this moment in time in the game.
Alexander-Arnold looks early for Henderson, who was floored by Rudiger. As Rudiger made the clearance, Robertson, he went for the oldest trick in the book there, knock it one side and run the other. Unfortunately, he did it on the touchline.
Well, I think when you see grass in behind the player and you know you've got the run on him, why not? Don't overcomplicate things.
You can't stress how big a player Azpilicueta has been for Chelsea since signing from Marseille. Just Mr. Reliable. Alexander-Arnold can't keep the ball in play to Salah. Here is Azpilicueta. Pulisic. Azpilicueta. Does he just let that run out of play? Play is going on.
Certainly looked as if the ball had gone out of play. Referee's assistant was having none of it.
Credit to Matip and Van Dijk, who didn't stop to wait and dealt with it. Here's Luis Diaz now with a run on Chalobah. And he's beaten him once, twice, and tried to squeeze a shot away. And Chalobah recovered.
Well, one of the few occasions, if not the only one really, that Chalobah gets isolated one-on-one with Luis Diaz, and I just thought there that he had the beating of him, but he looked up Diaz and he probably saw that there was not an awful lot of red jerseys in the box, so he had to check back, and in doing so that just allowed Kante to come back in and double up on him. Gave Chalobah a little bit extra cover, and he eventually makes the block.
And Liverpool have the corner. Andrew Robertson takes. There must be something in those quadrants. That's the second one that he's not got right. That's not like him.
He's got the wrong boots on.
And just a wait here because we need a little more attention to Cesar Azpilicueta. I just wonder here because, like with Mendy a few moments ago when there was no contact with him, and it just senses that Azpilicueta just doesn't seem to have an injury, but maybe unwell or something.
Well, certainly there's activity on the bench with Reece James. I think he's certainly getting his tracksuit off. He looks as if he's definitely coming on, so certainly looks at the end of the afternoon for Chelsea's captain.
And the amount of games that he's missed. It's a good time to return. You see, normally the medical team would be saying, you know, in talking about the affected area, but he's just walking off as though it doesn't feel great. It's a slow walk off while they get Reece James ready. And James, who was warming up anyway, and he's quickly getting some instructions. And off goes Chelsea's captain. And on comes Reece James to return. They missed. A lot of football over the last couple of months. He and Ben Chilwell injured at similar times.
I think if you're a Chelsea supporter, you're wondering if that strengthened your side or weakened your side. Certainly, leadership-wise, it certainly weakened your team. But I mean, you've got plenty of leaders on there, the likes of Rudiger, the likes of Thiago Silva, Kovacic to a certain extent as well.
That's Alexander-Arnold. Henderson was offside, so it can roll through. He's never been shy in making his voice heard. It's Antonio Rudiger. Here is James. He has had such a great season, both goal scoring and goal creating for Chelsea. Different in his makeup to Alexander-Arnold. Well, here's a ball that's taken Alexander-Arnold out of the game. It's Havertz, it's Mount. That's a good take, because it almost came away from Kelleher, but he kept hold.
Well, they exploited the space that Trent Alexander-Arnold has left there, and it's Virgil van Dijk that has to come across, because Joe Matip is pushed high up the pitch as well, and they work it really well, Chelsea. This is not the easiest of chances from Mount's point of view. He's got to start that outside the post. It's a little bit too straight, and I wouldn't say it was comfortable for Kelleher. Kind of grabs it at the second goal, but a little bit just too close to the goalkeeper. But Chelsea exploiting the space that Liverpool created themselves down that right-hand side, with both Trent Alexander-Arnold and Joel Matip pushing forward.
It's another Chelsea chance. That one not as clear as the others, but it is a Chelsea chance, and it's another they've not taken. Mane's dummy. That's a thermal coming together between Keita and Chalobah. Play goes on with both players down, and Robertson away by Thiago Silva. Well, this is one of those horrible moments as a ball bounces between two players totally committed to winning the ball. Stuart Atwell will be conversing with his VAR team. Certainly looking at that, Chalobah's come off worse.
Look, this sort of thing happens because the momentum that's bringing them both together, and as soon as you put your foot up, both our players are actually going for the ball, and the fact that the momentum is bringing them together causes the foot from Naby Keita go into the midriff of Chalobah. It's 6 and 2/3 for me. I think it would be a harsh decision to, well, I'm not saying not book Keita, but I mean the only thing that you would say, how does he take his foot away? I mean, it's an impossibility. Chalobah could easily have made the same contact on Naby Keita as Naby Keita has obviously made on Chalobah on that occasion, because the ball's bouncing, both players committed to go forward, go and win it, and unfortunately for Chalobah, he comes off worse.
Well, you hope he's okay, because they both were full-blooded going into it. I think the problem is as well is that neither made contact with the ball.
Well, both missed the ball, I think.
Ran into each other. Clearly that the stronger contact was made by the Liverpool man. You're satisfied there was nothing out of control or anything?
I don't think so, in all fairness.
Shot of Ben Chilwell there as he makes his way back from that knee injury. Oh, it wouldn't be Liverpool-Chelsea without incident, would it? Controversy. What I will say is that it was reviewed by VAR and very quickly moved on from. Keita's moving okay. Chalobah not quite so.
I'm sure he'll be okay though, in fairness. I think just the initial coming together is a lot, maybe the shock wise as well.
I mean, he got caught, I mean, upper thigh groin, didn't he? As almost.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying, well, maybe not made it. It could have easily been Chalobah or Naby Keita, because Chalobah's foot was as high as Naby Keita's foot. Naby Keita didn't initiate the contact. It was just the pure fact that like they're both moving together at the same time, different angle. Probably the angle was that Naby Keita is going to make contact with the Chelsea player, as opposed to the Chelsea player making contact with Naby Keita. Probably VAR would probably agree, because there's been no decision.
Here's Van Dijk. Matic took a chance and his ability got him away with the ball. But Liverpool can't keep it. N'Golo Kante. Havertz. And Chelsea have a corner.
Well, just similar to the first half, Liverpool probably maybe playing second fiddle to Chelsea at the start of the second half. Chelsea probably the stronger of the two teams, but we did see in that first 45 that Liverpool did come back into it. We've got this situation to defend, set play, corner on the far side. Liverpool have been good at these sort of positions.
Well, the corner's too deep and it's headed away. N'Golo Kante forced backwards, and I'm not entirely sure he was looking for his goalkeeper there. That's a poor clearance. And here's Sadio Mane, and it's on for Mohamed Salah, and the flag stays down, and Salah goes for goal, and it doesn't have the legs. Thiago Silva got back there.
Well, for all the tea in China, I thought that was offside, to be quite honest with you. But in saying that, Thiago Silva at 38 years of age shows he's still no slouch. It's tight up, the referee's assistant doesn't give it. And how often do we see Mohamed Salah have that ability to just sit the goalkeeper down on his backside and chip it over him? He does exactly that. Whether it's going in, I think the bend might just be taken away from the far post, but certainly Thiago Silva's not to know that.
That ball is delivered lucky for Luis Diaz, and Reece James able to get there. That's Mane stepping in to get it back. And so Liverpool have the game's next big chance. We've seen Chelsea have a number of them, and then Liverpool spring back off the ropes and launch a flurry of attacks at the Chelsea goal.
Well, it's 0-0 at this moment in time. I mean, had both teams taken the chances, it could easily have been 3-3.
Thiago Silva with the header. It's as good a 0-0 as you'll see at the moment. Fabinho. Henderson. Well, Alonso was very army with his challenge. A little too army.
Well, he gets close, he gets tight. That little move into the ball there just... I mean, what you have to say, Mohamed Salah is off balance as well. Clumsy more than anything else, I think. It does give Liverpool another opportunity from a dead ball situation.
Again, it's a long way.
It's quite similar
to the one they had in the first half. which Salah hit well wide. Alexander-Arnold's approach this time is a little more single-minded. He does join a conversation now, but he was very focused early on. Andrew Robertson is also trying to get involved here.
I think any time a player holds on to the ball would suggest that this is my effort.
Well, he approached the ball very, very square last time.
He does do that though, Johnny. Like, he has that whip, doesn't he?
He's a little more diagonal though this time.
Yeah, a little bit.
When he decided to go, Sadio Mane, Joel Matip's there and turns the ball home for Liverpool. Finally, the ball is in the back of the net, and it's Liverpool who find a way through, to the delight of the thousands who have made the journey south. Joel Matip with the header.
Well, a bit like us sitting here in the commentary box, I think Chelsea expect the fact that it's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold just to blast it to goal. He doesn't. He just has a look up and he chips it to the far post. And Sadio Mane, he just gets in on the blind side and just heads it back across that corridor of uncertainty. And who's there to take advantage of it? Joel Matip. That's a lovely header by Sadio Mane. And Joel Matip from that sort of distance just heads it into the roof of the net. Can't miss, really. You can see there in just the top of the picture, he anticipates it really well. Chelsea can do nothing about it. Mendy's beaten, Thiago's beaten, but Matip hits the roof of the net.
We are having a VAR review here for a possible offside, which is against Virgil van Dijk rather than Mane or Joel Matip. As you can see, Van Dijk there is acting as a blocker. Does that mean he's interfering with play?
Well, I don't quite get it, to be honest with you, but...
Well, surely that's a foul if it's more than anything rather than offside.
I mean, Sadio Mane is well onside. I think what you're looking at there is probably the left leg of Virgil van Dijk.
What I would say here, Gary, is that Manchester United had a goal chalked off at Burnley last week for a similar thing where Harry Maguire was offside as a blocker as a free kick came across.
Well, I mean, basically what they're probably saying is, I think, is it Reece James that he blocks Virgil van Dijk? And Sadio Mane gets round the back. He's certainly onside. The header's fine. I mean, Van Dijk's left foot probably is offside. Is it a free kick? Is it offside?
It is offside, and the goal won't count. Liverpool thought they led through Joel Matip, and his face tells you the story. Van Dijk with a face of disgust.
Well, you go from ecstasy to disappointment in the space of, what, a couple of minutes.
The Liverpool players are confused here. You can see Matip and Van Dijk.
Well, I think that they're confused, the fact that, is it a free kick because Virgil van Dijk was holding off Reece James, or whether it was offside. Matip had got absolutely nothing to do with it, in fairness.
There is a precedent. It was Burnley, Manchester United.
Well, we're back to 0-0.
Yeah, it's still the best 0-0. And again, more incident and drama. That one is one that will be long discussed. Kante's given the ball away here, and it's Luis Diaz, and still Luis Diaz, away by Thiago Silva, and Chelsea are just starting to wilt. Well, and Mendy's down again.
Well, I don't understand quite how Mendy's going down again. This is the second time. But I'm just saying that Liverpool haven't quite isolated Chalobah one-on-one with Luis Diaz often enough. On this occasion he does, and he skins him. He gets to the byline, he puts that ball across, and had Naby Keita just been a little bit quicker and a little bit sooner getting in there, he had a tap in.
Well, the goalkeeper was just clipped by Naby Keita.
Well, a bit like the last time. I think he's making a little bit more of it than what he needs to.
Someone who was in agony a second ago is no longer in agony.
And certainly the Liverpool fans behind that goal thought that Joe Matip had given them the lead.
Andrew Robertson's misfired a couple, so Alexander-Arnold takes over. Mendy half away. Luis Diaz trying to help it back in. Comes to Robertson. Alexander-Arnold. This is Henderson. Alexander-Arnold goes for the return. And his left-footed cross is blocked by Chalobah, who just basically just threw his body in the way.
Yeah, he kind of was off balance, wasn't he? That awkward height where you can't head it and you can't really get your foot up that high.
Fabinho switches from left to right. Luis Diaz beat Alonso, but Rudiger able to get across. Chalobah, James. The only change of a game so far, which is now well inside the last 20 minutes, and that's a surprise.
Well, that's just flown by, isn't it, again?
18 minutes left plus a little bit of change. That's Kelleher downfield. Leap by Sadio Mane. Thiago Silva did enough. Fabinho takes it off Kante, who is having a very un-N'Golo Kante 5 minutes here. He's been a little wasteful in possession. Well, we said that a game that's only had one change so far. And Chelsea under pressure. They've had chances, they've not taken them. So now they turn to two forwards, Romelu Lukaku and Timo Werner. And Mason Mount, who has been the guiltiest of the Chelsea players, makes way.
Well, we're talking about natural finishers and maybe saying that Mason Mount is not off that ilk. Certainly the two that coming on, you would expect, what, 150 million between the two of them? You would expect there to be a little bit more authority in front of goal with these two, and it's not quite worked out for Lukaku, and it's certainly not worked out for Werner at Chelsea so far. But certainly more firepower up front,
more pace, more direct.
I think Werner will probably go on the left-hand side. I think he'll play on the left-hand side. Lukaku certainly will play through the middle. Different options for Chelsea now.
Well, Liverpool have a free kick. Chelsea have some defending to do. And up goes Van Dijk. And it's Luis Diaz. It just wouldn't fall kindly for him. Andrew Robertson with plenty of time to turn back and retrieve. Find Naby Keita. That's Luis Diaz, that's wonderful. Skips away from James as though he wasn't there. Sadio Mane. It's a little long for Mohamed Salah, who will retrieve and will move again for Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold. Too many blue shirts in the way, and that's a little big as he looked for Salah's run.
Well, it's wonderful play by Luis Diaz down the left-hand side. I thought Sadio Mane might have just taken a little chance. Here it goes again. I mean, I would say it was more a free kick than I think Virgil van Dijk just puts his arm around James than offside. But
is Reece James even getting near it?
No. But it is what it is. You've got to get on with the game.
Well, that's a ball for Luis Diaz. And Chalobah's been caught square. And Luis Diaz is denied by the goalkeeper. Tried to squeeze it underneath him. And Mendy is equal to it.
Well, Liverpool getting a little bit more joy down this left-hand side now than what any stage of the game so far. I just thought his last touch maybe just took him a little bit too wide. Had he hit it maybe a little bit earlier, he'd probably had a better angle. But he still gets a shot off. He still forces the goalkeeper into making a save.
He's been Liverpool's big threat, hasn't he? Out of the three forwards. Really starting to make some real progress as well. Alexander-Arnold with the corner. It's very, very deep round the back, headed down and across and away by Reece James again. The appeals for handball mainly coming from the crowd.
Well, he had that handball up at Anfield, didn't he, earlier on in the season?
He's a bit too far out this time, isn't he?
I don't think it hits his midriff, doesn't it? Straight in the midriff. I kind of, well, I wouldn't say swung the game when, like, the fact he handled on the line and got got himself sent off, didn't he?
It ruined the game as such, didn't it? Because, I mean, Chelsea defended really well in the end, didn't they? But they killed the second half, didn't they? They took us side and Liverpool couldn't find a way through. And neither side's been able to find a way through today.
No, both teams have had their opportunities, had their chances. Liverpool look as if there's activity on the bench.
Well, it has been a really exercising game. It's been so physical, so strenuous, and so on will come James Milner and Harvey Elliott. Elliott, who wasn't even on the bench until, what, 15 minutes before kickoff?
Well, amazing, isn't it, really?
Here's Lukaku, challenged by Fabinho. He's covering for his defenders. Kante. That's a super tackle. Sadio Mane on the edge of his own penalty area. Oh, Luis Diaz has given it away. And this is on for Werner. And it's a cross goal. And Havertz is there and scores for Chelsea.
Offside.
And that one's offside as well. Well, this time, for the first time, the goalkeeper is beaten. Not for the want of trying, but the flag goes up.
Well, it's all happening, isn't it? All happening in this game. Lukaku's definitely offside. It's Luis Diaz that loses possession. And you know what? I'm not 100% sure Havertz is offside.
But Timo Werner, who gets the ball there, is.
Right. I mean,
the flag went up very, very quickly there as well.
Caoimhin Kelleher, give him his due. I mean, he nearly makes a wonderful save yet again. So, goals disallowed on both teams.
I'm not sure we're going to get through this if it keeps going like this, Gary. That's Alonso. Werner.
You would have thought he was offside again there as well, wouldn't you?
Well, the flag has stayed down, and Werner again making progress. And away by Robertson and Henderson. Headed by Thiago Silva. And now everyone will just take the opportunity to draw breath, because Liverpool's double change is turning into a triple change.
Or maybe just looking at the game, it maybe getting a little bit stretched, doesn't it?
Well, it's Henderson off, Harvey Elliott on is the first change. Fresh legs in midfield, understandable today.
Yeah, it's probably more Henderson on, off, and Milner on, Elliott on, and Naby Keita off. But I mean, it's irrelevant, really.
Naby Keita off as well for and it's worth stressing, Gary, to remind everyone, at the start of this season, when players were still coming back from international duty and what they'd been through last summer, James Milner and Harvey Elliott were Liverpool's starting two central midfielders.
Yeah.
Well, the other change is Diogo Jota, and it's Sadio Mane who is going to make way. Well, he's the goal scorer, he's the goal getter. And there's Diogo Jota. And Sadio Mane will be disappointed not to play a further part in the cup final. But Liverpool have strength in depth, and Jürgen Klopp uses it. Looks offside against Werner. Kelleher's coming. Havertz was coming from deep, but was never getting there. Here's James. And just to see how that and those changes change the pattern. Oh, it's a challenge by Fabinho, who's penalised and is left flabbergasted, bewildered at the decision of Stuart Atwell.
Well, I think he just makes contact with his trailing leg on Kovacic there. So that will just
he's remaining very, very calm today, is the Liverpool manager, but this time his reaction has drawn the referee's attention. I think mainly because the microphone that is connected to Andy Madley might have picked up a few choice words and they weren't in German. It's Matip's header.
Well, it's easy to see how you get wrapped up in the game, isn't it? I mean, it's
a lovely dummy by Salah. Luis Diaz, who's having a real purple patch for Liverpool in this game. He's beaten Chalobah again. Here's Milner and Salah and Milner. It just wasn't there for him.
Well, you just wonder, had he been on maybe 5-10 minutes, got himself played into the game, this was a decent opportunity for James Milner. Not renowned for his goal-scoring ability with Liverpool, but he gives a good little 1-2 there. He's just off balancing when he makes the strike, but it was a good shooting opportunity.
Well, both sides have been broken, but both have been saved by offside flags. And now, with 8 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, is there to be one more big moment which would win the cup final. Here's James. Too long for Lukaku. Away by Elliott.
That's a poor ball in by Reece James.
Well, here's Kovacic and Werner. Havertz and Lukaku wait in the middle. James, Havertz. It's comfortable for Alexander-Arnold, and for about 90 seconds there we've had a fairly quiet passage of play, which is probably for the first time. That's a bit long from Matip. And Caoimhin Kelleher has, well, he could go and play in the NBA
Just so you see
with the ability he's shown there in his handling skills and a bit of bounce.
that was basketball skills to the goalkeeper there. Not quite sure how many basketball matches he's played in across an island when he was growing up.
All his old teammates will be watching on from Cork and Ringmarn Rangers. He played his youth football.
Well, to be honest with you, the way the game's going, John, he could really turn out to be the hero, couldn't he?
Or villain, who knows?
Well,
I mean, this is the finest of margins now. One error, the game's over. From anyone. One brilliant goal, the game's over. It's that finely poised. Here's Elliott. Mohamed Salah. Can one of these super elite talents create something? Salah's cross, Chalobah's header. Liverpool's corner. Inside the final 6 minutes. Who wants to be a hero? Oh, Chelsea have been caught napping. Robertson across goal. It comes towards Luis Diaz and Matip's there. And the shot was by Robertson and Matip. And it's a crazy bit of pinball inside the Chelsea penalty area. And they survived just.
well, how have they survived that? It's a stramash in the middle of the Chelsea penalty area. Liverpool, it just wouldn't fall nicely to a Liverpool player just to smash it into the back of the net.
Well, Chelsea's will to keep it out prevails. Milner. Here's Fabinho. Looking for Salah, who's just started to get a little bit of space and a little bit of joy. Well, it's Salah who loses it, and Timo Werner who runs away with it. Now Kovacic. And that's on for Havertz. In steps Robertson. And Caoimhin Kelleher, who's very, very secure with the ball at his feet. Gets it away, but only as far as Kovacic. Werner. Kovacic has turned into traffic there. Got away with it. Kante. 4 minutes plus stoppage time. Chalobah. James. Look at the blue shirts queuing up. The cross is deep. It's not a good one. Alonso will keep it alive. And what can he provide? It's towards Lukaku. There's a foul by Lukaku on Fabinho.
Yeah, just a little shove, just a little nudge.
The first ball's the ball there for Chelsea, isn't it? It's a real chance. You've got 5 lining up.
It's poor, isn't it? Well, you have to believe that next goal the winner, isn't it? Well, first goal the winner, should I say, not next goal.
What on earth must they be thinking at this moment? They have traded blows for 87 minutes here, Liverpool and Chelsea, and it's still 0-0. Here's Luis Diaz, Liverpool's most likely player to make something happen, you feel. Milner. Cross charge down by James. Now how's the Chelsea counter-attack? How's the Liverpool cover? It's Kante for Havertz. Lukaku and Werner in support, and Kante being joined now by Alonso. It's round the back for Timo Werner and covered by Alexander-Arnold.
I mean, I don't understand players. Like, why would you rather have a throw-in and keep the ball in? I just don't understand it. Just like I don't understand why forwards fall in the box and expect a penalty when they've got a chance of scoring a goal.
A foul by Diogo Jota. Here's Alonso. James. N'Golo Kante. .90 seconds left in the 90 minutes. Good read by Alexander-Arnold. Diogo Jota on towards Salah. Well, that has to be a yellow card. The referee has tried and been determined to keep the cards in his pocket. And Mateo Kovacic gets one in the 89th minute.
Well, I don't think this is anything to complain about. I think that is a Stonewall free kick, Stonewall yellow card as well. He's been very reluctant to give them as Stuart Atwell, but I think he had no option there.
Alexander-Arnold forward. Diogo Jota, the flag stayed down, the touch by Thiago Silva. And Liverpool get themselves a corner. Well, you know if there's a goal now, it's 99% chance it's going to be a winning goal.
Well, they've been a threat all season, haven't they, Liverpool, from set plays?
They're the best in the country. The best in Europe. Best in the world, probably. If you wanted to look really deeply into it. No way through so far. 6 minutes as well to add on. That's a lot of football left to be played in this Carabao Cup final. Alexander-Arnold takes. Oh, it's headed by Virgil van Dijk. It's kept out by the goalkeeper. And Chelsea survive again. Van Dijk got the run and Mendy makes the save. So close for Liverpool.
Well, just when you expect it to see it nestling in the bottom corner, a big hand comes out from the goalkeeper Mendy, and it's sufficient enough to keep it out from Virgil van Dijk. Mohamed Salah not happy with the decision.
Well, Salah's asked for handball against Kovacic there, but that's not going to be given.
Well,
but this is the chance.
This is the head. This is the header. It's a long way out, Virgil van Dijk. He does everything right. He heads it down. It's got plenty of power on it as well, but it's just not far enough in the corner.
It's when you see it again, you know the goalkeeper should save it, don't you?
Well, it's that angle, isn't it, that they show you.
Well, here's Lukaku now at the other end, and he's got Werner in support. Super challenge. It comes to Alonso, and his shot strikes Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
The offside flag's up again anyway.
Lukaku was offside there. I mean,
You're so calm, Gary.
well, he was offside. It's just, I don't know how the referee's assistant doesn't see that and put it up.
I wish everyone was as calm as Gary Gillespie. This is why he plays so long at this level.
Well,
Luis Diaz away from Chalobah, and Jota.
well, we know he only needs half a chance, doesn't he? A sniff at goal, and he takes advantage of it. But Chelsea, you've got to say, they've been resolute in defence.
Liverpool so close from the last corner. Van Dijk denied by Mendy. Now a word between Alexander-Arnold and Salah. We're midway through almost the stoppage time being added on by Stuart Atwell. And Salah is being a nuisance to Mendy, and then comes off the goalkeeper. It's a good header by Alonso. Luis Diaz. And that's towards Diogo Jota, away by Thiago Silva. In goes Milner, brave, and did it so well. Little bit of pinball that comes off the referee. And will it be Liverpool's ball or Chelsea's ball? Ball was bouncing around. Now Reece James has gone down. Bearing in mind he only came on.
Well, he's taking the full force of Trent Alexander-Arnold blockbuster in the midriff. I feel he's pain, to be fair. Well, what are they thinking? It looks as if it's extra time.
He's trying to show his players that he's calm,
But he's not.
but you can see the way that he's chewing his gum. I mean, it's an aggressive chew, isn't it? You know, it's like, oh, going through everything. Klopp turns to his assistants, his trusted lieutenants. Liverpool have the ball. Diogo Jota can't keep it, and then fouls Kovacic. And it's Chelsea at the second who are just slowing the game down, and maybe they are the ones who want to play for time. That said, they could bang this downfield and create something. It's been that sort of game. Up it goes from Rudiger. Taken beautifully by Alonso. And he gets to the blind. Lukaku! Oh, it's a brilliant save by Kelleher. That would have won the final. In the last minute of stoppage time, and it's the young Irishman who comes to Liverpool's rescue.
Well, Alonso does exceptionally well. He's got no right to get on the end of that. And Lukaku, all fair play to him. He gets across both Liverpool defenders at the near post and manages that little deft touch. And had it not been for that young man there, well, Chelsea were like, they're walking up the steps to get the cup, aren't they?
Well, he looks like he's just having a Sunday afternoon stroll around. What a save that was by Caoimhin Kelleher. And Chalobah back to his goalkeeper. And after a game of numerous chances, so much incident, so much drama. Can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's going to end 0-0. And we're going to have 30 more minutes. Surely there can't be another chance. We've played 5 minutes of stoppage time. Surely there won't be another chance before Stuart Atwell blows his whistle.
Well, hopefully, if there is one, it'll be up the other end. Chelsea deep in Liverpool's half at this moment in time.
Werner. Kovacic. That will run away from Lukaku. Well, maybe they've just beaten themselves into a time where they all think, right, we'll just have to take stock and play 30 more minutes. You almost sense the crowd of seeing that much into it. They've gone into a little bit of a lull now. Battered, bruised and sometimes bloody, the two sets of players. But after 90 minutes of trying non-stop, it ends goalless at Wembley and we will have 30 more minutes.
Well, I don't really quite understand how it has ended goalless. Chances at both ends. Both goalkeepers have been absolutely fantastic. Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool thought they had scored early on in that second half. That would have been interesting. Had that counted, then who knows what would have happened.
So here we go. Extra time, 30 more minutes. Is there anything left that this game can throw at us? It's been one of the most amazing 0-0 draws you could ever see, and it's come in a League Cup final. It just adds to the epic meetings we've seen between Liverpool and Chelsea, and Liverpool, who at the start of both halves of the game have been very much on the back foot, and Chelsea have created chances trying to get on the front foot here. Luis Diaz ending up on the floor, and Liverpool have made a change as well at the start of extra time and brought on Ibrahima Konate, with maybe an eye just to looking after Joel Matip and everything that the players have been through in this game so far. I mean, the one thing that we talk about now in football is that the players they couldn't be any better in terms of their conditioning and their fitness and their strength. My word, they've needed it today, Gary.
Well, I mean, it's not at the end of the season, this cup final, isn't it? But certainly the rigours that both teams go through. I think especially when you look at December and January fixtures, you know, it's a big workload, and I think both teams very fortunate to have big squads, because they're going to have to utilise them.
Think about since the sides played at the start of the year, first game of 2022, they've played the semi-finals of this competition, a whole raft of Premier League games. They've had the FA Cup to deal with as well, and the return of European football, and now of course the League Cup final, the first silverware available of the season. Chelsea are trying to keep hold of Liverpool, who are trying to keep hold of Manchester City, of course, at the top of the Premier League. Liverpool's run has enabled them to close that gap a little, but they're still a long way away from Pep Guardiola's side. Here's Elliott.
What an afternoon it is for him as well, when you think about the fact that he wasn't even in the starting squad.
Robertson. Beyond Elliott, away by Alonso. That's Fabinho. And Werner's effort to challenge with him wasn't the most convincing. Luis Diaz runs in behind again. Well, Luis Diaz looked absolutely out on his feet, and you can understand why, because he has put everything into this game for Liverpool.
He's a little bit unfortunate there. Tries to stop, he does actually manage to stop it on the line then.
Look at him, I mean, he has worked so hard. I'm not certain he will ever have played in a game of this intensity.
Probably not.
You know, in terms of the pace and physicality, it's no disrespect to what he's played in Colombia and Portugal in the past, but, you know, and then those Porto Benfica games, then Porto Sporting games are pretty hot, but this is different level.
Yeah.
That's Alonso. And Lukaku trying to break the lines. Werner. And he goes for the curler. And he tried to be cute. And it's over the top.
I think the referee's maybe given offside here for like Lukaku. It's about 3 hours after the. Why could he not just give it there? Virgil van Dijk, for me, doesn't get close enough to Timo Werner. It doesn't go out quick enough. And you can just see the referee's assistant's flag goes up at the top of the picture. It must infuriate players. It infuriates, well, certainly infuriates me.
That replay, it missed by more than it looked with the front-on view, didn't it? Here's Marcos Alonso.
Well, the one thing, I mean, normally, I'm not saying normally, but I am saying normally. In the extra,
you did.
Yeah,
you said it 3 times, Gary.
In extra time, both teams always just play their way through the game, don't they? But you just expect that in this game so far, we've had so many chances. You've got to expect there to be some chances from both sides in this extra time, and it's who probably takes these opportunities that comes out on top.
Well, that's Rudiger, and that's Reece James. He's a real threat coming off that flank. Havertz and James and Robertson still. Sometimes you find that if a game finishes 3-3 or 4-4, nothing happens in extra time. Whereas this has finished 0-0. It could easily finish 3-3 or 4-4. I wonder if they've almost played themselves out. What do they have left? I mean, there's been plenty of changes. Remember, 5 changes available in the League Cup and 1 extra in extra time. James.
He's been immense, Thiago Silva, in fairness. He's 38 years of age. You're saying he is unbelievable.
Werner. Kovacic. Werner, good feet. Sorts it out very well. Werner goes on. And he's found Kante. Well, we said a little earlier in the game, if there's one part of his game that you can pick holes in, it's here in the penalty area.
Yeah, I don't understand Werner, though. I mean, he keeps the play moving, and it's a decent pass to Kante, but surely from a striker's instinct that you want to have a shot at goal, and he had the opportunity to hit that early before he moved right across the 18-yard box. Liverpool.
It wouldn't be a cup final without Divock Origi.
How many times have we said that get big Divock on him, he makes the difference.
The man who makes a point of upsetting the opposition and upsetting the odds in big games. And we mentioned a moment ago that Luis Diaz was out on his feet with what he's put into this game. What an incredible effort from a player who has made such an impact at Liverpool Football Club, and you can totally understand why he's gone off. Origi involved straight away with Chalobah. I think you'd almost guarantee that Divock Origi will have one chance to score. Speaking of chances to score, it's forward for Lukaku, who's broken away. He beats Konate, and he scores for Chelsea. And the flag's up again. Oh, would you believe it?
Well, I have to say, my initial thought that he was offside. The through pass. He's a player that likes to play on the edge, doesn't he? He likes to play on the shoulder of the last defender.
That's tight, Gary.
Well, when you see it again like that, it's a lot tighter than maybe what I thought initially. He does exceptionally well because he calms himself down. He has that little poise just to take it inside Konate. From that angle, it looks as if he's very much onside.
The thing he has there, Gary, he's offside. It's not going to count. He's holding and holding. He starts his run too early, does he?
Wow,
and he's trying to hold it for so long that he can't just stay onside.
Well, it's millimetres again, though, isn't it? In all fairness to him, I mean, as a forward player, you have to time your run to perfection, as we've seen already. But that is millimetres, isn't it?
And we talk time and time again about Liverpool's high defensive line and how well they organise themselves, how they manage to catch so many teams offside. It's happened again today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing I would say, from the first initial view that we had of it, he looked absolutely well offside, but then you look at that position from obviously where the cameras are and where the lines get drawn, it was so tight, it was so close. But again, you would have to say that VAR probably got it right.
Liverpool's free kick. Van Dijk jumps for it. Away by Kovacic. Elliott. Salah. Diogo Jota. Chelsea have a problem now inside the penalty area.
I think it's Rudiger that's down.
James is cleared. Liverpool have a throw, but there's a man down, Andrew Robertson, indicating to the referee that he's going to have to go over. I'm not entirely sure anything's wrong with Antonio Rudiger here. I think he just wants to try and make a point. He does.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
He can be an angry man at times. He can quite often play the chief, I think the best phrase, chief upsetter, chief protagonist in any little incident.
I don't really know what he was trying to emphasise here. The fact that maybe been punched in the chest or something. But
is there a good Scottish word for that, Gary?
Protagonist is a good word, John.
It's forward by Rudiger. And Van Dijk will go back towards Kelleher. Let's talk about how comfortable he is with the ball at his feet. He's very unflustered, is the young man. It's a lovely ball for Salah. Cuts away from one, cuts away from two. And looks to thread it, but can't find Elliott. And here's Havertz. Game has slowed down now.
Tend to find that in extra time. Players start looking at the clock and...
Do you do that?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, I did. No, not just at extra time, certainly, like, you know, when you're coming towards the 90 as well. I mean, you're saying that 90 minutes these days, it's more often than not, it's 94, 95, sometimes, well, 96 I think it was today.
Konate just a little too physical.
Yeah, he's a little bit too close in Lukaku. It's one thing you can't be with Lukaku. He likes to field defenders behind him. He thrives on that.
Doesn't ever want to be coming deep and getting involved, does he? It's Alexander-Arnold away. Salah. Where are you going to go from here? He had nowhere to go at all. Alonso, Kovacic, and Kante, and now Havertz. Just swaps sides with Werner for the time being. Again, the outlet is the fullback. It's James. Werner, it's a short ball by James. Just knocks the momentum out of Chelsea's move. Chalobah, it's a scuffed ball as well. And Gary says so many times that one bad ball can destroy a move, and it did there.
Well, I don't understand why he doesn't hit it in first time. The ball gets knocked back to him. He takes a touch. Doesn't need to take a touch. The ball was perfectly there to be hit first time, and especially when you've got Lukaku in the 18-yard box. As a target, just put it into an area.
Kante.
Maybe this is the reason why Lukaku has struggled for me at Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea probably just, for me, don't play to his strengths.
Alonso. Kovacic. Salah with it. What you'd say there is it's a fault in the recruitment process, because you've got to sign a player that fits the mould of your team.
Yeah, correct.
That's what Liverpool have got right so often in recent years with their recruitment of players. They have looked at the player they need for this position, what fits the way that Liverpool play, and it's worked for them. You can see by the forward progress they've made under Jürgen Klopp. And Chelsea just seem to slot that big name, that big player in, and then sometimes hope for the best. That's Alonso's cross, away by Van Dijk. Chalobah. Diogo Jota does well. It might be a foul by James. I think that's Manchester City do well as well, don't they? With Manchester United have got it horribly wrong in recent years. Has been emphasised by their struggles. Well, we talked about the game slowing down in extra time, but this one's moving by as well. 13 and a half gone. Reece James was penalised, but there's a big smile on his face. Not bad when your brother and sister are both playing at the elite levels of football. And this is a regular supporter of his sister, playing in the Women's Super League. Robertson. Not much from Liverpool in extra time so far. There's Alexander-Arnold. It's towards Robertson, but will run away comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, even Trent Alexander-Arnold, that was a bit of an aimless ball, really, wasn't it? Very unlike him. I'm sure both sets of players just want to get this extra time out of the way. And
well, the old face mask that Jürgen Klopp sports has almost become like a comfort blanket, a nervous thing. He covers his mouth up when he's not happy, and obviously he's having a few choice words to himself. Whereas with Tuchel, it's just chew that gum a little harder.
Well, it has got a bit chilly as well, in fairness.
As the sun starts to drop, it gets colder. Havertz just gets away from Alexander-Arnold. Too high for Werner. Alonso retrieves. Here's James. Oh, well, that's a real nothing ball. That may just about do that for the end of the first half of extra time.
Well, he's in a great position, Werner. He just can't jump high enough. If anything, he just, in the last minute, he seems just maybe to duck his head a little bit.
Had the world turned a little differently, it isn't entirely inconceivable that Tino Werner could have been playing in red today. Fabinho clipped Kovacic. Play goes on. Havertz. It's a physical challenge with Alexander-Arnold, and there's a little bit of afters. We have to be careful with the heads there. And now Elliott gets involved and Rudiger inevitably gets involved. And it just might need a lid putting on this. Harvey Elliott, the smallest player out there, he's going to deal with his young player. And then he's going to deal with Rudiger as well. Yeah. Sure problem. Off you go, back up there. You can let go as well. He's nearly pulled Alonso's arm out of the socket. There is James Milner, who appeared as the peacemaker there and then took Rudiger to task.
Well, Rudiger, I mean, Harvey Elliott's got no point being there, in fairness. I mean, the smallest guy in the pitch probably, but then Rudiger, like, you pick on the smallest guy, Harvey Elliott. Not exactly brave, is it? And you know what, it was all over nothing really at the end of the day. I think that's just frustration, it's tiredness, it's fatigue.
Well, it stems from Havertz barging Alexander-Arnold over, doesn't it, initially? And Stuart Atwell will want a further word here. It was inevitable that if there was a coming together involving players, that Rudiger would have some part in it. We mentioned earlier what Antonio Rudiger is like and what he does. Now James Milner will come back over. Rudiger's reaction there isn't the most becoming, a little disrespectful. But as Gary says, it was something and nothing, and it brings an end to the first period of extra time. And Romelu Lukaku this time thought he'd scored, only for the offside flag that did go up, and it turned out went up correctly when VAR reviewed it, but my, it was close. Well, penalties are starting to loom large at Wembley. 15 minutes away from what used to be the dreaded spot kicks, but such is the quality of penalties being taken now in football around, and players tend to back themselves more than they ever have in the past. That's Fabinho. He's pretty good from the spot, as he's proven to everyone at Liverpool recently. That's Alexander-Arnold. That's James Milner trying to help it on for Diogo Jota and Divock Origi. Thiago Silva for James, trying to cushion a ball for Werner. James again. I mean, Chelsea's play has been a lot different since Mount and Pulisic went off. Would you say, Gary, it was a lot more build-up, a lot more getting Liverpool in and inside their own penalty area and pinning them in there? A lot more direct now from Chelsea.
Well, personally, I don't think they've been as penetrating as... Well, he says that. I don't think they've been as penetrating and as troublesome with the likes of Lukaku and the likes of Werner on, as opposed to maybe what we saw with Mount and Pulisic. I was surprised that they took the two of them off, to be quite honest with you. It just seems to me they're a little bit unbalanced with Havertz, where, you know, I thought his best position was through the middle with like two wide players at either side of him. Obviously Lukaku's taken that. Havertz, for me, gets lost in the game when he plays in a wide area.
Well, Chelsea's fans are way behind that goal hope. They have a corner here. Taken by James. Kelleher away. Under pressure from Rudiger. Did well. It's Alexander-Arnold sending the ball downfield with real purpose and moving Liverpool up to halfway. Is everyone so inexperienced? I mean, he's still relatively inexperienced, Caoimhin Kelleher. Looks so calm on the big stage.
Well, I've always said that you learn from your peers, don't you? And, you know, when you're training on a daily basis with the likes of Alisson Becker, and throw Adrian in there as well.
Well, Caoimhin Kelleher does throw Adrian in there and how he helps him on a daily basis. And it's right to identify him as well. But, I mean, Alisson, as we like to say, is the best in the world. And not just one-on-ones, but every part of the game. Mendy'd be right up there, as would Ederson. Many would say Thibaut Courtois this season has been immaculate for Real Madrid. Here's James. Appeals for handball against the England man. It's probably a foul by Milner. Jorginho certainly was always going to take a tumble.
As soon as he felt the hands on the back, James Milner was quick to close him down, but just maybe got a little bit too close to the Italian.
Rudiger. James. Jorginho. On for Lukaku, but he's not getting that. That's not his game, that is it.
It's a difficult ball to take with the best of them, but certainly Lukaku looked a little bit stiff and going for that ball.
And what a couple of years he had in Italy. Record quite brilliant. And before coming back to England and coming back to Chelsea. That's Lukaku. Oh, here's Havertz. It's in again for Chelsea, and it's offside again for Chelsea. Havertz was in an absolute ocean of space, and you wondered why, and it turns out it's offside.
Well, I didn't see that, to be honest with you. I thought it was a perfectly good goal. I'm just wondering what Lukaku's actually doing. Like, why is he making that sort of run out there? But you can clearly see there Virgil van Dijk just steps up at the right time when the ball gets delivered. Certainly when he receives the ball, Havertz is in an onside position, and the manager Tuchel thinks he's got the goal that could separate the two teams, but it was clearly offside yet again.
I don't think we'll ever see a game like this again, Gary.
But it's amazing considering, like, but you have to say that I think all the decisions have been the right decisions, haven't they?
Well, you're never going to get an offside wrong these days, are you? You shouldn't anyway, when you've got VAR. And credit to the officials as well. I mean, with the exception of the Liverpool one, they've called them all before VAR. We'll discuss that Liverpool goal until, well, if Liverpool don't win the game, probably as long as Chelsea discuss Luis Garcia's goal in that Champions League semi-final. Did it cross the line? Did it?
Of course it did.
They've been put through the ringer today. Header by Thiago Silva. I mentioned that Chelsea have had the chances in extra time. They've scored twice in extra time. The second one much clearer and offside than the first one. That's Lukaku. Here's Van Dijk. It's just to Robertson, off you go. Out there. Origi pulls wide as well. Not seen much of him, not seen much of Salah though in extra time.
Not seen much of Liverpool in all fairness.
Since they nearly won it in stoppage time through Van Dijk. And Chelsea will say, not since we nearly won it in stoppage time through Lukaku. That's a good ball for Milner. And Milner for Diogo Jota. It's a good challenge by James. Just a first sign of Liverpool breaking the lines. Werner. He's had a pretty horrible half hour or so since he came, a bit longer now.
Well, that was a woeful pass, really, in all fairness. It was Havertz that was making the run in an inside left position. It wasn't a difficult ball to make. He wasn't under pressure, Werner. But totally all wrong.
It's a miscue from Chalobah, who's gone down. Thiago Silva looking to tidy up. I wonder if Chalobah's got a bit of cramp here. Play is going on. Here's James Milner. And Alexander-Arnold. And here's Salah. Can he produce one moment? And Rudiger stops his great friend and gets the ball away.
Well, I think we said it earlier on in the game that he does play Mohamed Salah exceptionally well, does Rudiger.
Elliott's cross was blocked into the path of the Chelsea goalkeeper. I'm just checking that Chalobah is okay. Well, Kepa's gone off there to sort himself out. And he played in the Super Cup final a little earlier in the season against Villarreal. They brought him on after 119 minutes after the much publicised, well, not publicised, but much talked about refusal to come off against Manchester City the other year at Wembley. They've done it once, it wouldn't be a surprise to see them do it again.
Well, I mean,
and again, why would you take off Mendy?
Yeah, well, it would stagger me if that was the case, to be quite honest. I mean, he's made save after save after save.
They were going to take him off for Willy Caballero the other year, and now they're going to bring him on for Mendy. It would be a strange one. We'll see if it happens anyway.
You know, football has these ironies, doesn't it?
It's another subplot to the game, isn't it? No one on the field is thinking about that at the moment. 6 minutes remain, but you can clearly see it's in the back of the mind at Chelsea. It's happened already this season.
Well, they certainly wouldn't have showed you the pictures of him coming back out with his gloves and almost ready to come on, but it would astound me, to be quite honest.
Tuchel was asked about it pre-match as well. Salah. Rudiger. Oh, he's given it away. Salah for Liverpool. And it comes towards Milner and Kanté gets there. Oh, just for a moment Liverpool were in. And now for a moment, Chelsea are in at the other end. It's 3 against 3. And Lukaku puts it straight at Virgil van Dijk.
Oh, he does everything right, Lukaku. He breaks away, he's strong, he's making a really good run, and then I'm not sure what he's thinking with that pass. I mean, that's way under hit, that. I have to think he's trying to find Timo Werner at the far post, and if that was the case, then, well, he's way short with that pass.
Havertz looks tired now. That was a tired moment from him.
Well, I think the crowd sense a lull as well, a little bit, doesn't it?
Saul on the sideline. His move to Chelsea hasn't really been the better roses that he would have hoped. And Werner looks offside here. He goes on. Now the flag goes up and Virgil van Dijk shows everyone what his feelings are, because that one was comfortably off. Well, he's ready. He's coming on.
I don't get that personally, but it certainly looks that way.
Mason Mount is chatting away to him.
This has obviously been organised before the start of the game. I mean, if that's the case, then I mean, why are they not in the dressing room or in some area of the pitch throwing balls at them and warming them up or something like that? That's.
I mean, there will be a few minutes clearly before.
Well, I suppose
if we get there, we've still got 3 minutes plus probably a minute or so stoppage time. Here's Divock Origi. He's warming up on the sideline. You can just see in the back of the picture there as Liverpool make their way forward. This is Robertson. Oh, it's a cross goal. Diogo Jota was there and he just didn't make contact. And Chelsea escaped.
Oh, that was, I mean, it's obviously not a shot at goal, but that was a real good opportunity. And Diogo Jota, I mean, the goal scoring form that he's been in since he's come to the football club, you'd expect him at least to make contact with the ball. He just tries to do a little bit too much.
Robertson can't quite make his way forward. He runs out of room in the end.
Well, you say you always get a chance. There's always at least one chance. Who's going to have it?
Well, there are 2 minutes to go and Kepa is ready and is about to come on. There was a moment earlier in the game, remember, when Mendy just pulled up with his groin or his stomach, but I can't think that's anything. This is, you feel, preset, and
you have to think that, especially as you said, John, that they have done it before, and there is a precedent been set there. But I don't get it.
Yeah, the fella who wouldn't come off in a cup final is about to come on. Alexander-Arnold towards Origi. Oh! And Chalobah gets a little lucky because he missed it. It just wouldn't come for Divock Origi. Well, you're either going to be a big hero or a big villain at a time like this when you change your goalkeeper. Mendy, one of the best in the business, is making way for the man who, I think it would be fair to say, has been a little bit of a misfit at Chelsea.
Well, as I said before, I just don't get that. This has obviously been pre-arranged, because I mean, you look at Mendy. Mendy doesn't like, he's not batting an eyelid coming off. If I was him, I'd be absolutely furious, to be quite honest with you. I don't see how Kepa can be any better at saving penalties than Mendy, personally. But there you go.
Well, his first touch in the game. And he's going to be with, by the time he takes it, probably about 15-20 seconds left.
Big call from managers though, isn't it?
His first contact's okay. It's Alexander-Arnold. Well, Liverpool have a penalty specialist in goal, remembering Caoimhin Kelleher. Heroics against Leicester, heroics against Arsenal. And in a minute's time, we're going to have kicks from 12 yards. Unless Konate able to deal with that danger.
Just opened his legs a little bit. Of course, you've got to toss as well to see what end that the penalties are going to be taken from as well. That's another big thing, isn't it?
Well, James Milner and Jorginho will be involved in that toss, and will have become the captains in this game now. Jürgen Klopp is not happy with that challenge.
Oh, it's just tension, isn't it?
And it is. You saw the little pat for Andy Madley. You can see he's stayed pretty calm all day. I think he's settled for penalties now, hasn't he?
Well, he's made the call, hasn't he, in fairness, because obviously the substitution he's made, that's what he's expecting, and he's got it.
Well, it's been the most amazing cup final to finish 0-0 that you will ever see. So much drama, so much incident. Goals ruled out for offside. Wonderful saves by both goalkeepers as well. And ultimately, with Chelsea's substitute goalkeeper on the field, it's going to be settled from the penalty spot. Well, Kepa has been a player in this game for a minute. He goes off with Stuart Atwell to have a little conversation about the necessity of staying on their lines. It means that James Milner is going to have a long wait. Now, Liverpool have worked a lot with neuroscientists this season, with coaches to help them with focus, and you could have more. You could have no more focus than James Milner has there. Kepa tries to get in the head of Liverpool's older swinger. James Milner, the man with ice in his veins from the penalty spot. Kepa has come on to be a hero. Can he keep out the first Liverpool penalty? Well, even if you go the right way, you're not getting near that. Brilliant from Milner.
Well, quality from James Milner, as you would expect. Applause from the fans behind the goal. Kepa absolutely nowhere near it.
Marcos Alonso's approach is a much more languid walk towards the spot. Milner was full of focus. Alonso looking very relaxed. He has a super left foot, as Marcos Alonso. Oh, and he just squeezes it past Caoimhin Kelleher, who did guess right.
Well, he goes the right way, Caoimhin Kelleher. I'm not 100% sure if he just dives over the top of it. It was sufficiently in the corner, sufficiently hard enough to take it past the goalkeeper. As we watch our number 3, Fabinho,
has stepped forward for Liverpool from the spot this season in the absence of Mohamed Salah, and when Milner has not been involved and has been imperious. Only ever missed once in his career for Monaco, and he's not going to miss now. Oh no! That's absolutely ridiculous. How's he done that?
Get out of here! That is just. Oh, I mean, how you've got the nerve to do that in a cup final? It's taking my breath away. That
if you're his teammates stood on that, how much confidence must that give you?
Jeez, oh.
Fabinho has just penenkered it in a penalty shootout, and now Romelu Lukaku must keep his calm. And he does keep his calm, and he gives a little bit to the Liverpool fans as well. It was stutter, quick, slow, but got it right.
Well, we say we never fancy left footers. That Chelsea have had 2 and they've scored both of them, John.
And so Virgil van Dijk, the first non-regular penalty taker. Nobody hits a cleaner football than Virgil van Dijk. He used to take all the set pieces at Celtic back in the day. Now, Kepa's playing some games with him here. Oh, and Van Dijk goes straight through him. Oh, and the look he gave him was as cold as anything you'll see.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, the penalties we've seen so far have been absolutely outstanding. I mean, Kepa is actually standing more or less in that corner, just trying to entice Virgil van Dijk to put it in the opposite corner, but he just puts it in the same corner as Kepa, and just the pace of it, the accuracy of it is just too good for the goalkeeper.
Well, had it actually hit Kepa, it might have knocked him into the back of the net.
Well, here's another left footer that we've got coming up to take this one as well.
Kai Havertz is a penalty taker. He has been Chelsea's big penalty taker this season. And you can see why. The penalties so far have been perfect.
Well, that little stutter, reminiscent of John Aldridge. He just waits for the goalkeeper to go t'other way and then sticks it in the opposite corner. And you would have to say there's maybe a little bit of a surprise here from.
Don't start talking about John Aldridge and penalties.
Oh,
at
no,
Wembley,
yeah, especially at Wembley, yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. Normally used to hitting them from a little further out. You couldn't ask for a better technical player from 12 yards. A shorter run up from him. Kepa stays central this time. Oh. That's absolutely brilliant.
You have to say it's a fantastic camera angle to watch penalties from, isn't it? I mean, that is just hit the first contact is the side net, and as I say, any goalkeeper in the world is not going to save that. If it hits the side net and first, with the pace and the height that it was, the goalkeeper ain't getting anywhere near it.
So one England right back scores. Now another England right back steps forward. Reece James has been very, very good for Chelsea this season. He scored plenty of goals this season as well for a wing back for Chelsea. Now it's his turn from the spot. He couldn't look calmer. It's a short run from him. They used to say short run-ups could be costly in shootouts. Oh, well, Kelleher went the right way and wasn't far away, but the pace takes it in.
Well, a little bit of arrogance there as well from the young man. It's interesting to watch the goalkeepers, isn't it? Because Kepa goes back on his line, he's all movement, he's all arms. Kelleher is the total opposite of Kepa. He just stands still, Caoimhin.
Mohamed Salah is Liverpool's #1 penalty taken out. He took on the mantle from James Milner. And now, against his former club, remember. Salah for Liverpool. They're just getting better and better and better, these Liverpool penalties.
Well, that is absolutely sublime. The last two penalties from Liverpool's point of view have been absolutely unstoppable. Both side net and both at the pace, both at the right height.
There's a little word from Salah as Jorginho makes his way forward. We go from Liverpool's #1 spot kick man to Chelsea's #1 spot kick man.
Well, it'll be interesting if he does that little stutter.
Has missed against Liverpool for Chelsea. That was Alisson, of course.
Kelleher moving on this one. Stood dead still, the last one.
Oh. Well, it's another reaction to the Liverpool fans, but it's another brilliant penalty kick. Well, they have been quite superb so far. Maybe the one from Alonso that Kelleher nearly got to, the first one. But now as you make your way through, you move beyond the first five. And Kepa's not got near one, really.
Well, he keeps coming. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to achieve with this. If he's trying to play mind games, Stuart Atwell should just give him a yellow card. It's a nonsense.
Well, Diogo Jota has scored a match-winning penalty for Liverpool this season already. And he scores again this time, but it wasn't the cleanest. And there will be a little bit of relief for Diogo Jota.
Well, it's enough to find at the back of the net. He just goes for power, he goes straight down the middle. I've lost count, John. Where are we up to?
Everyone scored. Rudiger has to score. That's what you know. If Liverpool score now, Chelsea have to score. And so, Antonio Rudiger, villain of the piece a little earlier. Not the villain from the spot. Another good one, sending Kelleher the wrong way.
Well, had Kelleher gone the right way, I think he might have had an opportunity to save that. I'm not 100% sure Rudiger waited for Kelleher to go that way and then send it in the opposite direction.
Oh, moments that are made for Divock Origi. Don't worry, it's Divock.
She can't look.
Well, this game has put everyone through every single emotion that you can have in a football match. And at the moment, it's just tension and nerves. Will the nerves affect Divock Origi? Of course not. Of course not. Just went straight down the middle. And Kepa went early again and went very early again.
Yeah, I'm not 100% again. I'm not convinced that Divock waited for him to go.
Well, they say, pick your spot.
Well, exactly, yeah.
And stick with it. And if the goalkeeper saves it, fair play to him. N'Golo Kante is up next. Well, he looks pretty calm. What's he got? Well, we've given so much credit to Liverpool's penalties that have got into the side netting, and that's exactly the same from N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, good penalty. He looked a little bit apprehensive before he took that. That looks a confident walk, a confident face.
That's an aggressive walk from Andrew Robertson.
Yes.
It's similar to James Milner's in a way. Again, Kepa just trying to get in his face a little.
Have to laugh at that. I'll tell you after this.
Robertson.
Oh, yes.
Very calm, and the emotion comes out after he scores. I was going to say, Kepa's got to think twice about getting in the face of someone from Glasgow.
Well, I thought he was so determined walking up there, but did you see when he placed the ball, he actually patted the left-hand side of the penalty spot down. That's not going to affect him with being a left footer. So he was obviously nervous, Andrew Robertson. But he found the back of the net, and it's getting tense. Well, it's getting tenser by the moment.
Timo Werner's had a bit of a horror since he came on.
A little bit. You would be surprised.
Can he keep his nerve? Oh, Kelleher was so close.
Well, I'm sure he gets fingertips to this, Caoimhin Kelleher.
Oh, it's his turn to be relieved, and you see it.
Jeez, oh, there was a little puff of the cheeks there, wasn't he? He was more than relieved.
And so it's over to Harvey Elliott. He has been through hell and back this season. If ever you want someone to score now, it's Harvey Elliott, because...
Well, I've got my legs crossed, I've got my fingers crossed, everything's crossed for this.
Liverpool's youngest player taking the responsibility. Oh, well done. Well done, young man. A show of emotion from him that sums up what he's been through, and he stayed calm, and he's got the ability, and he's got the technique, and he scores for Liverpool.
Well, it's okay having technique and ability. You've got, in the situations like this, you've got to have bottle. You have got to have bottle. He's seen it all before, he's done it all before, but it's still nerve-wracking, trust me.
Well, he's nearly 20 years older than Harvey Elliott. The man who, for so many years, was billed as the best in the world at centre-back. Now can he be the best from 12 yards against Caoimhin Kelleher? He's a player and a half, and he always has been, and that's nerve.
That's quality, isn't it? no histrionics as well, but putting his finger to his mouth afterwards as well, noticeable.
We really are down to those that you didn't think were going to take one. Ibrahim Konate.
I think you're doing big Konate a misservice there.
Well, I don't think he'd have thought he was going to take one.
Probably not, no.
Chalobah for Chelsea as well. Hasn't scored for Liverpool yet. And now from the spot, can he keep Liverpool? And he does just. Kepa's got a hand to it, but he went high enough and he got it in.
Well, I think that's the first one that really Kepa's got anywhere near, considering that he's meant to be the best penalty kick saver or stopper. He gets a fingertip to that one, but that's the first one he's actually got anywhere near.
There is a philosophy now to go high. If you can go above the goalkeeper's hand, you've got a chance of it going in, even if they get a hand to it. And that certainly was the case there. Trevor Chalobah has scored against Juventus this season in the Champions League. Now in front of the Liverpool fans, he goes high and he gets it home. Nice and calm from the youngster. Well, relief though, yeah, afterwards.
Relief. I mean, well, we say it often enough. If you're not used to taking penalties, it's an ordeal in itself, and we're down to, well, people that are not used to taking penalties. They're used to saving penalties.
These fellas take hundreds in training.
Well, I suppose you're right, yeah.
But never at this stage. Alisson's heroics came inside the opposition penalty area from a corner. Now can Caoimhin Kelleher score from the spot for Liverpool? Oh, he can, and it's brilliant. Beautiful contact and relief for the Irishman. And look at the smile from his teammate. And so it's over to Kepa. Arrizabalaga, the man brought from the bench to be the hero for Chelsea, to win the game for Chelsea. He replaced Mendy in goal for the shootout. Now, unless he scores, Liverpool have won it. Oh, and it's missed it! Liverpool have won the Carabao Cup. They are in the winner's enclosure once again. Huge emotion, huge relief, huge delight. It's Liverpool who lift the League Cup. Well, there's a little bit of confusion as to who's going where. Costa Tsimikas is the main party man at the moment. One thing is, in the old days, the managers used to be quite, standoffish and very dignified, and players' moment, I'll stand aside. I remember Liverpool sending Bob Paisley up for the League Cup back in, what was it, 84 would it have been, and 83 of course, and now Jürgen Klopp's right in the middle of it. You love that, don't you? Costa Tsimikas is first up with Sadio Mane and Luis Diaz, and they will get absolutely everybody up there. Thiago's got a smile on his face now. It was tears just before kickoff. Well, here they come again. Liverpool winners once again.
Well, am I right in saying that half of them have not actually got their medals?
At the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, because the medals are on the other side. But they are medals that you will treasure. It's the reason they play the game. It's the reason you played the game.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
The first achievement is to make it in the professional game. Then you move to the top of the game and you win trophies. And Liverpool are making a very nice habit of winning trophies right now. Jordan Henderson receives the League Cup. Liverpool have won it more than anybody else. And now, 10 years on from the last time, Jordan Henderson has the toes tapping the Hendo shuffle, and Liverpool are winners of the League Cup once again. History makers, record breakers again, and Liverpool are right back where they belong in the winners' enclosure.
Well, first one in the bag. They've still got another 3 to play for. I mean, it's almost an impossible task to expect this team on this squad of players to go and win 4, but certainly it's possible now. And if they were to do that, I mean, wow, what do you say about this squad of players? What do you say about this manager? It's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Well, Jürgen Klopp has brought trophies back to Liverpool. He's assembled a group of players that have won the League Cup, they've won the Premier League, they've won the European Cup, and you hope there will be more to come in the years to come. But this is a golden time for Liverpool Football Club. They are very much the best of the best right now.
Yeah, not take nothing away from them. Phenomenal side, phenomenal squad, built by a man that has been himself absolutely outstanding in everything that he does, and thoroughly enjoy it. This is what you play football for. This is what it's all about. Come the end of the day, lifting trophies, winning medals, being successful as a football club. And this club have been very, very fortunate, certainly in my era, to win an awful lot. But in recent years, obviously, it's been few and far between. But look at that, look at that. Unbelievable.
They love him and he loves them. And Alisson enjoyed it, and so too a young supporter who's managed to get up there. That's the moment of his life, isn't it? Who's got himself somewhere where very few others will ever get in their life, because there's not many players who get to taste this. And now the party can, well, you say the party can begin. There's a game in midweek as well for Liverpool, so there won't be a massive party. But they've won the League Cup in February. They're still in the Champions League, they're looking good in that. They're still in the FA Cup, they're looking good in that. It's going to be a tough task to catch Manchester City in the Premier League. But if anyone can, Liverpool can.
Well, it's doable. And as I say, this is the first leg of the quadruple. I'm sure that's not even been mentioned in the dressing room or in Melwood, well, I say Melwood, AXA training ground. But certainly, it'd be a fantastic achievement. This is a fantastic achievement. It looks as if Virgil van Dijk has got man of the match.
Yeah, the Alan Sunderland Award for man of the player of the match is given to Virgil van Dijk. Well, they brought Jürgen Klopp to Liverpool when he was sat outside that cafe in Lisbon, and he took that call from his agent, Liverpool want you, and he said okay, and he's brought trophies back to Liverpool.
Well, I always remember his quote as well when he first came in, didn't he? He says, like, you have to turn the fans from doubters into believers. Well, I think we started believing a heck of a long time ago, but this just reinforces it, that this is a special occasion, this is a special team, this is a special squad of players with a special manager that can go on and achieve even far greater things than what we see here this afternoon.
They had to taste defeat in cup finals before they could taste the good times. The Champions League, the Europa League, the League Cup as well. They were beaten in those games before they started being winners. But was that the making of them?
Well, I think it could well have been. I think you have sometimes to go with the downs to enjoy the ups. And you'll probably have more downs in football than certainly in your football career than you will have ups. But when you have these highs and you have these ups, you've got to celebrate, you've got to enjoy it. Because, as I said before, this is what you play the game for.
Well, the party is on in the stadium at Wembley. The Liverpool fans enjoying themselves. Chelsea's fans have gone. Chelsea's players, many of whom stayed to watch Liverpool be presented with the trophy, have made their way off exit right, because this is Liverpool's time. It's the time for Liverpool to celebrate. The younger players out there as well who have also been a part of this. You can see Kate Gordon and Rhys Williams down there. Rhys Williams, a big part of Liverpool at the end of last season. But Liverpool today had the young and the old, Milner and Elliott, right at the end, guiding Liverpool through a penalty shootout. And once again, Liverpool celebrating silverware